Live on a Sunday afternoon, it's Utah Grizzlies hockey, as it's the last of a 3-3 as the Grizzlies take on the Tulsa Oilers. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Utah Grizzlies hockey. I'm Tyson Whiting. It's the final game before the Christmas break, and for the Grizzlies, it's the last of a 3-game road trip. Utah spent Friday and Saturday nights over at Cable Dama Arena as they took on the Kansas City Mavericks, and Utah split a 2-game series over there. Utah picked up a big 7-4 victory on Friday night as they scored 4 goals in the first period and had a 1 unanswered in the second. So the Grizzlies had a 5-0 lead halfway through the 60-minute affair. Kansas City put together a comeback bid, made the game 6-4, and then Evan Friesen scored an empty netter at the end. Reed Lepser was the number 1 star on Friday as he had 2 goals and 1 assist, and Robbie Stucker had an outstanding game with 1 goal and 2 assists, and Maxim Barbashev had his first multiple-point game as a pro, as he had 1 goal and 1 assist, and Gansky and Manning each had 2 assists. Grizzlies were a little bit shorthanded yesterday as they were without Luke Manning, and another guy didn't play as well, as the Grizzlies fell behind 3-0 as Kansas City scored 2 second-period goals. It was Kansas City's Teddy Bertas night. Hudson Wilson got the Teddy Bertas goal for Kansas City, 3:39 in, and then Luke Lohheit extended Kansas City's lead to 2-0. He scored shorthanded, 5:14 in. Mavericks led 2-0 after 2 periods. Former Grizzly Luke Lemaster scored 12:17 into the third from the right wing. That made it a 3-0 game. And with that, the Grizzlies had a big comeback hill to climb, and the Grizzlies just about climbed that hill. Utah got on the board on a power play goal, 18-11 into the third period as Tyler Gratton got his 5th of the year. Shea and Stucker with the assist. And then 26 seconds later, Evan Friesen scored to make it a 3-2 game. Cooper Gay and Christian Felton picked up the assist. The Grizzlies had a couple good looks in the final minute to try to tie it up, and Riley Connors had a good look from the left wing with 1.2 seconds left in the third period, and it was stopped by the Tulsa goaltender, Turnus, and Kansas City was able to hold on for a 3-2 victory. And obviously Connors, who fired kind of a low liner, probably probably felt that if he would have elevated the puck a couple inches, glove side, it probably would have gone over Turnus's glove, and it could have tied it up and would have been a miraculous comeback. But nevertheless, Grizzlies did get a split against a pretty good Kansas City club. They went on a bus after last night's game, drove to BOK Center. Both the Grizzlies and Oilers will be in the third game of a 3-3. Last night, the Tulsa Oilers lost 6-0 to the Allen Americans. Well, we talked about the Grizzlies being shorthanded on Saturday night. They may be even more shorthanded this evening. As Grizzlies had 16 skaters, they might be skating with just 14 today, as Aiden Hansen-Bukata and Noah Gansky are each doubtful with injuries. And so, it's just going to be a tough one for the Grizzlies. Final game before the Christmas break. Obviously, Tulsa's looking for a victory as they're just 9-16 on the year. Utah will go with Dylan Wells in net for the third straight day, as right now he is Utah's only goaltender, as a couple days ago Kyle Kaiser was recalled to the AHL's Colorado Eagles, and we're not entirely sure what happened to Casimir Kaskasuo as he was suspended by team on Friday, which usually means that he is headed to play overseas. So we'll see what happens here this evening. Grizzlies have been a strong offensive club as of late, as they have scored 13 goals in their last 3 games. Utah has also gotten the job done on the special teams. They were 1 for 3 on the power play last night and a perfect 2 for 2 on the penalty kill. Utah has a power play goal in 15 of their last 20 games. Utah does have a top 10 power play in the league. Utah's penalty kill has also been pretty strong. They're 27 of 29 over their last 8 games. So we'll see what happens here this evening, as it's the third meeting this year between the Grizzlies and the Oilers. Utah played in Tulsa about a month ago. And it's hard to really remember what happened in that series, but the Grizzlies did win both games over at BOK Center. On November 21st, Utah won 3-1, and then the Grizzlies picked up a 5-4 victory on November 22nd. So Grizzlies are looking to make it 3 in a row against the Oilers, and they look to finish up the road trip on the winning note. Don't forget the Grizzlies will be at home later this week, Friday and Saturday night. They entertain the Idaho Steelheads. Face-off both evenings will be at 7 o'clock. When we come back, we'll go over the lineups for both teams. You're listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Grisby commutes to work by riding UTA. It gives him time to make friends and relax before arriving to the BOK Center. But how can Grisby keep enjoying that feeling throughout the entire day? An idea! Utah Transit Authority, proud sponsors of the Utah Grizzlies.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
Welcome back to the Grizzlies Hockey Network. I'm Tyson Whiting. Utah's got a record of 11-13-2 on the year. They've been a pretty good road club with a record of 8-6-1 away from the friendly confines at BOK Center. Dylan Wells will get the start in net for the Grizzlies. He's Utah's only goaltender right now. He's got a record of 6-7-2. He has one shutout, a 3.69 goals against average, and .890 save percentage. He stopped 39 of 42 in last night's game, and Wells seems to be a better goaltender with the more action he sees. And Tulsa is one of the higher shooting teams in the league. They take 33.4 shots per game. Well, unless Aiden Hansen-Mukata or Noah Ganski are able to go, they were doubtful coming into today's game. The Grizzlies will be going with potentially 14 skaters, 9 forwards and 5 defensemen. We'll see once the box score pops up in the ECHL app if Hansen-Mukata or Ganski are able to go. We do know the 9 forwards for the Grizzlies. 3 forward lines will feature the top forward line from left to right of Tyler Gratton with John Gillette and Reed Lebster. Lebster's tied for 5th in the league with 13 goals on the year. Gratton, the Grizzlies captain, scored a late third-period power play goal last night. He has 5 goals and 10 assists in 20 games. He has 7 power play points on the season. Second forward line from left to right will be Neil Shea, who's got a point in 4 straight games, and Shea's just been a point machine for the Grizzlies, just picking them up one at a time. 7 goals and 10 assists in 20 games. He'll be on the second line left wing, and he's lined up with Riley Connors, who has 1 goal and 8 shots in 5 games, and Maxim Barbashev, who's played some really good hockey for the Grizzlies over the last couple weeks. He's been a physical presence, and he picked up a 2-point game on Friday, and with 1 goal and 1 assist in Utah's 7-4 victory. Third forward line from left to right includes Danny Genev, the first-year pro out of Penn State. Genev leads the Grizzlies with 21 points on the year. He also leads the club in assists and shots on goal. Evan Friesen's got a point in 5 straight games. He has 4 goals and 1 assist in his last 5 contests. He'll be the third-line center, and on the right wing is going to be Stepan Timofeyev, who has 5 goals and 6 assists in a Grizzlies uniform this season. So that's the 9 forwards for the Grizzlies. Forward scratches include Rylan Kovacevic with Luke Manning, who's missing his 2nd straight game. Christoph Filion is out, as well as Jack Ricketts. Cooper Gay, who's on more of a conditioning rehab assignment more than anything else. He's unable to go this afternoon. And earlier today, and I literally learned about this from the Adirondack Thunder press release, Daniel Amesbury, Diamond Hands, was traded from the Grizzlies to the Adirondack Thunder for cash consideration. So, unfortunately, Amesbury's stint with the Grizzlies ends having played 1 game with 7 penalty minutes. He won that fight against Braden Simmons-Fisher a couple weeks ago. For the Grizzlies, 5 defensemen. Sage Weinstein's going to be paired up with Christian Felton. Luke Salem is with Colby Enns, and Robbie Stucker will be mixed in quite a bit. And so there might not be the same 2 defensemen paired up with each other for most of the game. We'll find out here a little bit later whether Noah Ganski or Aiden Hansen-Mukata are able to go. Otherwise, the Grizzlies will be rolling with 14 skaters. They're a bit shorthanded, and yes, this is a 3-and-3 So kind of a tough circumstance for the Grizzlies, but oddly enough, over the years, the Grizzlies have stepped up big during these type of circumstances. They spotlight Rob Murray, the longtime Tulsa head coach, on the Oilers bench. Oilers are wearing a white jersey with blue numbers and orange trim. I think it's a pinstripe jersey, reminiscent. I imagine somebody in the Tulsa Oilers front office is a New York Yankees fan. So the Oilers, watch out for Easton Armstrong. He's been their best performer all year. He'll be wearing number 27. Armstrong has 12 goals and 6 assists. There's the American Hockey League Hall of Famer. If you're watching on Flow Sports, Rob Murray. And if you're looking on the bottom right of the screen, there's former Grizzly Dylan Fitz, who's going to be in the Tulsa lineup wearing number 37. Another former Grizzly, J.C. Broussard, is one of the defensemen for Rob Murray's crew tonight. When we come back, we'll have face-off on the other side. You've been tuned in to the pregame report on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to americafirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Great day for hockey as two big standings points are on the line as the Utah Grizzlies take on the Tulsa Oilers for the third time this season. Utah swept Tulsa in a 2-game series in the month of November. It was November 21st and 22nd. Utah picked up a 3-1 victory on November 21st. That was a game where Reed Webster scored the game winner. And then Utah won 5-4 on November 22nd as Christoph Filion redirected a shot and he scored the game winner. In that game, Dylan Wells saved 25 of 29. Interesting goaltending matchup. Dylan Wells will be in there for the third straight day. He leads the Grizzlies with 6 victories on the year. And if you watched the Utah Mammoth game against the Anaheim Ducks on national TV 2.5 weeks ago, you might remember Vyacheslav Butyets was the goaltender for the Anaheim Ducks that night. Well, Butyets is back in the uniform of the Tulsa Oilers, and he will get the start in net. Butyets was 4-1 against the Grizzlies last year. In 11 games, he's got a record of 5-5 with a 3.08 goals against average and .913 save percentage. Do you think pinstripes work on a hockey jersey? Well, the Tulsa Oilers certainly think so, as they're wearing their white pinstripe jerseys with blue numbers and orange trim. Referees tonight, and there are 2 of them, Cameron Fleming and Caden Frazier. The linesmen are Duncan McGarrett and Aaron Schacht. First time in a few weeks, the Grizzlies have a game featuring 2 referees, and it's the first time in 6 games that Emil Sharon is not the referee. 20 minutes are put on the BOK Center clock, and when we are in Tulsa, we do have to make the disclaimer that please be patient with me. Unfortunately, this is about the worst video feed that has ever been created on this earth. Grizzlies cross center ice and dumping in. They are starting with Shea, Barbashev, and Connors. As the Grizzlies are wearing a black jersey, white numbers, professional green trim. Shea gets it up top. Sage Weinstein fires towards the net. Saved by Butyets. Rebound shot saved by Butyets. Christian Felton gets the puck. He's behind Tulsa's net. Skates towards the far side as Felton stops on a dime as he's trying to break free of J.C. Broussard. Felton feeds it up top. Weinstein across towards Connors. He'll zip it to the right corner for Shea. Neil Shea with an A on his sweater. Fires towards the net. Save. Rebound. Bounced off of Butyets on the second attempt by Maxime Barbashev. Oilers over the offensive line. Right, left wing, righty shot saved by Wells. That shot was taken by Colson Petrie, who has 14 assists to lead the Oilers this season. Reed Lebster with the puck. He'll get it towards Grattan right wing. Lefty shot, and that's blocked by Butjetz, and it flies out of play off the protective netting as we get our first whistle 56 seconds into the game. Who's your pick to click? Who's going to be the player of the game for the Grizzlies? I'm not sure. I'm going to go with the captain, Tyler Grattan. I think he's due for a big one. He was outstanding in the month of November, and if I remember right, he played well in the 2 games over at BOK Center last month. John Gillette will take the draw. Grizzlies win it as Grattan's out there with Lebster and Gillette. And Gillette will probably take a lot of the key faceoffs for the Grizzlies as Luke Manning's out for the second straight game. As Tulsa gains center ice, Tyler Polson tried to dump it in. Polson gave the Grizzlies fits many years ago when he was with the Rapid City Rush. Grattan delivers a hit and divorces number 16, Justin McGalian, from the puck. As a scrum over in the right corner of the Grizzlies zone, Grattan comes out of the puck, second-year pro out of Penn State and Arizona State. As puck off a stick, now Grattan gets it right wing. He'll gain center ice and he'll chip it in as Gillette chasing after it. Butjetz, who, as we mentioned a couple weeks ago, played against the Utah Mammoth in the third period in a game. The Mammoth won 7-0. He's in net for the Oilers. As Tulsa will wing it around the boards, does Tyler Polson, but the puck must have bounced off a Grizzly back towards Tulsa ice. As number 21, Michael Davies, who didn't play last night, he'll feed it out towards the bench area. Now Grizzlies get it right wing at center ice, and they'll drive it in. As Butjetz plays it behind his net. We played 2 minutes, still no score. Tulsa, they're a team that likes to take a ton of shots, but so far this season, they've allowed 36 points per game. So we could see some run and gun action here tonight. Friesen with the puck along the right wing. Steps over the offensive line, strides towards the right circle. Drops it up for Geneva in the right corner. Now Geneva back towards Friesen, who has 4 goals in his last 5 games. He'll feed it to Timofeyev, who directs it up top. Lefty shot, and that one's blocked away by Butjetz. Now Tulsa will slide it back towards neutral ice. Oilers gain center ice, and they'll tap it in. But look like it tapped off a Grizzly stick. As Geneva in the right wing, he fires lefty shot, saved by Butjetz. And now the Oilers back towards the right wing. Dylan Fitz, the former Grizzly, he'll tap it off the glass. It hits a stanchion, goes behind him. Cade McNally gets the puck. McNally has 51 penalty minutes in 22 games and no points. So I think it's pretty clear what he's out there to do. As an Oiler delivers a push on Weinstein. As Barbashev, 3 minutes in, will zip an angle right pass off the boards. It goes past McNally. All the way down, Butjetz has to play it in the crease. So play stays alive. Shea overskates the puck. Connor's in the area. And the Oilers get it back towards center ice. Ends will zip it back in. Oilers regather it. As Tulsa back deep in their own zone. Grizzlies skate from left to right as we attempt to see the game on Flow Sports. Now the Oilers wobble one deep into the Grizzlies zone. Colby Ends strides after it. And icing is on Tulsa with 16:42. That's the time remaining here in the first period. And if you look at a shot at the Grizzlies bench, everybody was spread out a little bit. They showed the Grizzlies bench a little bit as they're skating from one end of the ice to the other, and that kind of demonstrates. Hopefully they get a shot at the bench at some point. It kind of demonstrates just how shorthanded the Grizzlies are, and the Grizzlies players just kind of spread it out on the bench like it's an adult men's league game, and it's being started at 11 p.m. So Grizzlies out towards center ice. They're skating with 14 tonight, and this is the third game in a 3-3. But usually the Grizzlies, in these sort of weird situations where they're oddly shorthanded and don't have a ton of rest, the Grizzlies usually come out with a pretty good effort in these particular games. Tulsa deep in their own end. White jersey, pinstripes, blue numbers, white helmets, a little bit of orange mixed in. As Grizzlies have the puck. Utah zips it up towards Colby Ends. Rink wide feed. Butjetz plays it to the near goal line. Ends was just kind of dumping in from center ice. Now the Oilers will loft it back towards the Utah line. Noah Gansky is able to go, so it looks like the Grizzlies might have 15. I believe that was Gansky advancing it. Weinstein left wing, shot, kick save by Butjetz. And it flies out of play with 15:55 left in the first. Actually, Butjetz snatched it up. He didn't kick it. He made a glove save. So we played 4 minutes and 5 seconds. Still no score. I believe the Grizzlies do have a bit of a shot advantage. So I do believe that, Gansky was questionable coming in, and I believe I saw Gansky out there for a shift. So it does look like Utah is rolling with 15 and 8, and Hans Buchanan apparently is able to go as well. So the Grizzlies might have 16 as Robbie Stucker with the puck as he dances around. He'll get it out towards the Tulsa line left wing. Somebody off the screen dumps it off the Tulsa backboards as Timofeyev gets spun around by an Oiler. I believe that was Tanner Faith, number 41. Now Tulsa skates in from the right wing. As Stucker gets a stick in the way, Stucker's been outstanding in this road trip. As Tulsa feeds it back up top. And the Oilers fire a lefty shot, saved by Wells. He thought he gathered it. Rebound goes to Stucker. Timofeyev will slide it towards the left wing. Vreeson looked to get towards Genev. It glanced off an Oilers stick. Now Timofeyev gets pinned towards the boards. He tries to break free of a double team. Puck goes towards the right corner. Genev to Timofeyev. Righty shot. And that one's blocked away by Butyets. Tulsa comes back the other way. 5 minutes in, still no score. Oilers fired on towards Wells, who kicks it with his right pad towards the left wing boards. As Genev cycles it around the wall towards neutral ice. As the Grizzlies zip it across. Off the wall. Felton tried to chase after. He realized Tulsa got the puck. Now the Oilers left wing fits with a righty shot, and that's blocked. Might have actually been taken by Easton Armstrong, number 27, as the camera operator is going from left to right, and it's tough to really spot who's who. Oilers, right wing, righty shot, and that one misses as the puck goes towards Mike McKee, the longtime Oiler. And so rolled along the boards. McKee's been with the Oilers for about 9 or 10 years. McKee, who also acts as an assistant coach, rolls it back around towards the right corner as Shea slides to the middle of the ice, and the puck is accepted by Riley Connors. Connors delivers a blow as it looked like Tulsa tried to light up Connors, and it was the Oiler that ended up hitting the ice. As Tulsa back deep in their own zone, as they'll get it behind the net. Jackson Weeb, number 45, skates around Lebster, as Weeb will tap one towards the left wing. Now firing towards the net's Connor Smith, number 4, and that bounced off of Wells. Puck towards neutral ice. Grizzlies cross the center red line, and they'll tap it towards Lebster as the pass bounced off of Gratton. Lebster does a bit of a half circle. Now zip one angle left as it goes deep into the Oilers zone. Butyets raises his right arm, and the linesmen raise their right arms as icing is on Utah with 13:43 left in the first. So even though it does look like the roster sheet has Hanson Bukata on there, I'm not sure I haven't seen him taking a shift yet. Grizzlies have outshot the Oilers 7-5. Almost feels like a run and gun game. Tulsa this year seems to like to play that run and gun game. Barbashev with 2 shots already and 5 other Grizzlies with 1. Tulsa wins the draw as they skid around Wells' net. Number 13, Tyrell Goulbourne, who's got some NHL experience with Philadelphia. As the Oilers break free, they try to get towards the middle of the ice. Lefty shot, and that's blocked away. I believe that shot was taken by Josh Nelson, number 19, who has 7 goals in 19 games for Tulsa. As the Oilers get it back in from neutral ice. Salem zips it around the boards, goes deep into the Oilers zone. Now back towards neutral ice as Tulsa backhands it across. Taking the puck is number 25, Colson Petrie. As the Oilers now slow down shop as they'll set it back deep in their own zone. Shoulder fake by Weeb. He'll move it towards the right side. Dancing around, Easton Armstrong gets it back up top. As the Oilers, rink-wide feed angle left is picked off. As Colby Enns gets to Freese, and he gets dragged around by his arm by J.C. Broussard. Broussard played with the Grizzlies a handful of years ago. Now Tulsa gets the puck. They race towards the right wing. Skating in, McGalian. He'll take a righty shot, and that's blocked away by Wells. As the puck back towards the right side. Both teams have about 7 shots here so far. Stucker gets it head towards Genev. As Genev gets around an Oiler out towards center ice. 3-on-2. Grizzlies over the offensive line. Genev stops in the right wing. He tried to move it across towards Timofeyev. It glanced off his stick, passed a little bit behind Timo. As Timofeyev gets hit by Polson. As the Oilers will tap it off the near wing boards. Felton extends his stick, gets it at neutral ice. Felton's an outstanding skater. He's been impressive to watch all year. He'll get it ahead to Timofeyev. Will skate back towards the spot that Felton vacated. Timofeyev strides along the right wing. He loses control of the puck. Oilers out towards center ice. Looks like kind of a partial sellout over at BOK Center. If you're in the Tulsa area, it looks like there's still some good seats. Oilers will get it back deep behind Wells' net, but somehow they're going to announce a crowd of about 7,000. Tulsa left wing. Connor Smith, lefty shot, and that one's blocked. A lot of traffic out in front of Wells. 11:45 on a moving clock first period. As Tulsa skates down the middle of the ice, they step over the offensive blue. As Weeb stops in the left wing, drops it off. Connor Smith, lefty shot, and that's blocked. Looked like it was blocked by Connors. As Broussard left wing, his shot, that's blocked in the left circle. Shea will stride out to center ice. He'll dump it in. He gets around one Oiler. Now Barbashev has a little bit of ground, but Tulsa gets there a couple strides ahead of him. Oilers get towards center ice left wing. As Tulsa dumps it in, they have to get around Colby Enns and a couple other big defensemen. I'm not entirely sure actually if Gansky's playing or maybe if it's Colby Enns. Enns and Stucker are pretty similar sized guys. Gansky the biggest of all the Grizzlies. As Tulsa gets to the middle of the ice, as Enns will tap it towards neutral ice. Broussard was able to keep it in. All the linesman says he was. As puck looked like it might have exited to neutral ice, but the Oilers keep playing on to the offensive zone. Centering pass, lefty shot, and that's blocked away. Might have gotten a piece of Wells. Broussard moves it across right side. Shot saved by Wells. He snatched it about shoulder high. He holds on. 10:47 is the time remaining. A lot of fun action by both teams, but nobody's found the back of the net. Still no score. 9:13 in. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Grisby commutes to work by riding UTA. It gives him time to make friends and relax before arriving to the Maverick Center. But how can Grisby keep enjoying that feeling throughout the entire day? An idea! Utah Transit Authority, proud sponsors of the Utah Grizzlies.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
Still no score. A lot of continual action. 10:47 left in the first. Game's got a pretty good pace to it. Tulsa's outshot Utah 8-7. It's a 3-game and 3-day scenario for both clubs. Oilers have struggled a bit in the win-loss column. They're averaging just 2.5 goals per game and allowing 3.8, despite having a pretty good goaltending tandem of Vyacheslav Butyets and Thomas Sukanik. So Drozgin in the Grizzlies zone right circle. Tulsa is 5-9 at home and 9-16 overall. Grizzlies been a better team on the road than they have at home, and a big part of that is the Grizzlies getting off to fast starts on the road. As Noah Gansky gets the puck across center ice, so it does look like the Grizzlies are skating with 15. We haven't seen AHB out there, but it looks like Gansky's out there, so the Grizzlies do have 3 full defensive pairings. Gansky and Stucker on a pairing together on the ice right now. They're both a +4 on Friday night. Puck at neutral ice as Tulsa steps over the offensive line. Grizzlies skate from left to right. Gansky will tap it back to center ice. Oilers zip it back deep into the Grizzlies zone. Wells cuts it out behind his net. Fatigue might play in a little bit of a factor for Wells. It's the 3rd straight game that he's appeared in. Butyets has appeared in all 3 games for Tulsa, but he came in relief of Sukanik in last night's game. Oilers step over the offensive line as Petrie fires it off a Stucker stick. It hits the top of the glass, stays in play. As Gansky and Golson Oiler. Now McAlian feeds in the middle of the ice. Righty shot saved by Wells as McAlian found Petrie in the left circle. Wells made the stop and he holds on as that was another shot taken about shoulder high. 9:51 left in the first period. There's a timeout. Still no score. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
Still no scores. We're halfway through the first period. A little bit of run and gun for both teams. Both teams getting out in open ice. The Oilers have outshot the Grizzlies 9-7. Maxim Barbashev with 2 shots. Timofeyev, Friesen, Connors, Genev, and Grattan each have 1 shot. Friesen wins the draw. He's out there with Genev and Timofeyev. As Grizzlies cross center ice and dump it in. Now Genev left wing. He'll take a lefty shot, and that's blown away by Butyets. Butyets was 4-1-1 against the Grizzlies last season. As Tulsa steps over the offensive line, as they're over towards the right wing, lefty shot, rebound shot, and that's blocked away now left wing. And a lefty shot, and that one's blocked in traffic. Now right wing shot, and that one's kicked away as well. As Michael Davies gets the puck, he'll fire it off a Grizzly stick, and it goes out of play with 9:20 left in the first. So furious rally there for the Oilers, but Dylan Wells and company making one stop after another here early on. And obviously, with both teams being in a 3-game and 3-day scenario, and with the third game being an afternoon game, both teams will probably be looking for to get off to a quick start. And we had mentioned the Grizzlies being a better road team, and we talked about it a little bit last night. And a big part of it is the Grizzlies have gotten off to quick starts on the road. Utah has scored first in 9 of the 15 road games this season. And in the games at home, Grizzlies have just scored first in 4 of 12. As Tulsa back behind Wells' net, dancing around, still looking for the game's first goal, right side shot, and that one goes wide off a stick and out of play. Wells might have gotten a piece of it. 9:04 is left in the first. Draw's going to stay back into the Grizzlies zone. And really both teams, both the Grizzlies and Oilers, have been a team where if they get a lead early after 1 period or 2 periods, they usually come away with victory. Utah is 7-1-1 when leading after 1 period and 6-1-1 on the road. For Tulsa, they're 6-2 when leading after 1 and 8-1 when leading after 2. But when the Oilers are trailing after the first or second period, they've had a really tough time winning anything. Grizzlies skate in, shot goes wide as a Grizzly gets tripped up on the right wing and no call. We're going to skate on. 2 referees, 2 linesmen today as the Oilers get it back towards the right wing. Righty shot, and that one misses wide of Wells. He might have gotten a piece of it. Unfortunately, we're at a pretty wide angle, and it's tough to tell who's who and what's what. As Barbashev steps over the right wing, I try to center it towards Timofeyev, who is occupied by an Oiler defenseman. Now Tulsa back across center ice. They'll dump it in. Noah Gansky will stride after it. As Grizzlies will hit the reset button and get 5 fresh skaters on the ice. Stucker dangles down the middle of the ice now, nudged to his left. Tape to tape. Gratton, he'll fire a lefty shot, and that goes wide. Glove side on Butjetz. And 8:16 left in the first. Still no score. Grizzlies will have an offensive zone draw. So both teams will switch up skaters. Noah Gansky out there with Robbie Stucker. And already halfway through the first period, you can see sticks on knees, and you can already see some tired hockey players. As Gillette will take the drop. Tulsa will loft it up but not out. Somehow was kept in by Robbie Stucker in his long arm. Now the Oilers back towards center ice as they'll dump it in, but looks like Tulsa was offside. Good job by the Grizzlies challenging Tulsa as they were entering the zone from the left wing, and it messed up the timing of the play. 8:05 left in the first, and I got to imagine both teams are wanting to speed things up a little bit with this being the final game before the Christmas break. And I got to imagine players on both teams are going to be headed for their homes for a couple days for the 3 or 4 day Christmas break. And then the Grizzlies this weekend will take on the Idaho Steelheads. At least we hope they're going to be playing the Steelheads this weekend. If you've read any of the stories, as Gansky's got the puck, he dances around. Far side, get your tickets to UtahGrizzlies.com. You're going to want to be at Maverick Center this weekend for the Grizzlies and Steelheads. Final 2 regular season meetings all time between the clubs. Tulsa moves it out towards center ice. 2-on-2. Tulsa will zip it in towards the right wing. Now back up top. Tulsa with a lefty shot. And I'm not sure if that got the net or not. Fitz has it wearing number 37. He wore a number in the teens as a Grizzly. Now Fitz left wing shot. And a save by Wells. But Dylan Fitz with a pretty good look on the left wing. One-timer near the boards. And you know Dylan Fitz, who played in 192 games with the Grizzlies over the last 4 seasons. He's looking to find a way to get some revenge on his former team. It's the second game that Fitz has played against the Grizzlies this season. He missed the November 22nd game as he got hurt in the third period of the November 21st game. That is Grizzlies looking to make it 3-0 against Tulsa this season. Puck goes deep into the Oilers zone. As Timofeyev gets it, he'll skate towards the left circle. Now he moves to his right. He'll take a righty shot, and that one misses. As the puck goes towards the far wing, loose puck, Tulsa gets it. Oilers race out to center ice. And Tulsa trying to get it towards the corner as both teams seem to be putting together a pretty good effort. They know the importance of getting out to a fast start. Down the middle of the ice, lefty shot goes wide. That shot, we believe, is taken by Zachary Brooks, number 28. Now the Oilers will pedal towards the right corner. Now behind Wells' net, puck slides along the wall as Timofeyev delivers a hit on Michael Davies. As Tulsa gets hit by Felton. As Genev accepts the puck along the far wing boards. Grizzlies skate from left to right here in the period. As Tulsa knifes it away from Timofeyev. Now the Grizzlies dump it in. I believe that was Weinstein as he'll come off the ice. 6:36 on a moving clock first period. Still no score. Both teams have taken quite a few shots here early on. Oilers swung and missed on a pass. They try to retrieve it, does Davies. He's able to get the puck back and get it to center ice. As Barbashev overlet it for ends. As McAlian fires it into the Grizzlies zone, Barbashev chases after a loose puck. He'll slide it back towards center ice. One of the linesmen frantically trying to get out of the way. Grizzlies enter the zone. Connors gets around a defenseman. Backhand shot saved by Buttietz. Shea gets the rebound. He's over in the left corner. Over to Barbashev and trying to get it back towards Shea. And it bounced off of Keegan Iverson's stick. Now the whistle blows. And it looks like we got our first penalty of the game with 6:05 left in the first. So who goes to the box? Looks like an Oilers skating towards the penalty box. Utah's going to get a power play. So either boarding or roughing, it looked like was the initial signal by one of the referees. Now it's going to be a hook. Hooking's a call. So the Grizzlies will be on the power play for the first time tonight. Utah didn't have many power plays against Kansas City. They were 0 for 1 on Friday night. And last night, the Grizzlies were 1 for 2. Utah is 19.8% on the power play. Tulsa's penalty kill is at 77.8%. Grattan will take the draw against Jackson Weeb. And the draw won by the Oilers. They'll tattoo it off the near wing boards. It goes past Neil Shea. Shea retrieves it in the Grizzlies zone. Robbie Stucker is quarterbacking this power play. So that pretty much confirms that AHB is not able to go for the second straight night. As Shea whips it around the boards, like he got hit pretty hard. As Connor Smith gets the puck. Smith's a big guy, 6'6" and 234 pounds. Tulsa gets back to center ice. Stucker will retreat back into the Grizzlies zone. Now he veers off to the left. Stucker accelerates towards the center red line, and he'll drop it back for Lebster across the center ice. Lebster 3 power play goals this season. He zips it around the boards. Tulsa will loft it back to center ice and beyond, deep into the Grizzlies zone. Wells skates towards the near corner for the puck. Grizzlies make a line change, although Stucker stays out there. Looks like the Grizzlies got 4 fresh forwards, and fresh in quotation marks, as neither team is really fresh at this point with a 3-3. Connors accelerates towards the offensive zone. He'll drop it off. Right wing, Friesen with a jump stop. Now he gets it towards Connors. Connors gets hit by Tanner Faith as the Oilers far side, as Connors will slide it along the far wing boards towards Felton. Now Connors trying to get it back towards Timofeyev as Genev gets around one Oiler. Genev stops in the right corner as he surveys. Danny Genev with a puck. He swiggles his shoulders back and forth. Now he gets it to Felton. Felton back towards Genev in the right wing. 30 seconds left in the power play. Fires towards the net, and it goes wide. He was looking for a Friesen redirection. Timofeyev will get it towards the left corner. As Connors back towards Timofeyev, he'll nudge it back up top for Christian Felton. Felton dangles back and forth. Now gets it to Timofeyev. Shoulder fake back to Felton. He'll fire it towards the net, and that one misses wide. Not sure if we got a piece of boot yet. 10 seconds left in the power play. About 4:15 left in the first. Down the middle of the ice, Connors righty shot saved by Buttietz. Connors got hit pretty hard, and the Oilers clear it out. So Grizzlies had some looks on the power play, but we're still scoreless with about 4 minutes left in the first period. As both teams have taken quite a few shots, Grizzlies have it deep in their own zone. They actually never did show who was in the penalty box for Tulsa. And so we're not sure who was in the box, but they broke a hockey rule and missed 2 minutes. I think hooking was the call. As Fitz races across center ice, sporting a mustache, right point. He fires towards the net, and that one's saved as it goes out of play off the protective netting. Puck is laying at the far goal line. 3:44 is left in the first period. Still no score. Both teams have taken over 10 shots. It's the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to americafirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
So it's been an interesting one so far. About 3 minutes left in the first period. Both teams have taken quite a few shots. Tulsa has 12. Utah has 11. Riley Connors leads the way with 3 shots for Utah. Stepan Timofeyev, Danny Genev, and Maxim Barbashev with 2 shots each. Evan Friesen and Tyler Gratton each have 1. And how about Evan Friesen as of late? He's got a 5-game point-scoring streak. He's got 4 goals and 1 assist in his last 5 games, and he's a +3 in his last 4 contests. Draws in the Grizzlies' zone right circle as Tulsa wins the draw. As J.C. Brassard fires towards the net, and that's blocked as the puck trickles back towards center ice. Now the Oilers have it at their line. Unfortunately, we got the wide angle. It seems like the angle of the camera is either really wide or really zoomed in. Puck towards the left corner as Salem gets pushed by Easton Armstrong. Now Grizzlies have it in the far corner. They're in their own zone, skating from left to right. Gillette dangles back and forth. The first-year pro to Holy Cross as Tulsa comes back up with it. Oilers rink-wide feed. It connects towards Weeb, who drops to the middle of the ice. Oilers, maybe one pass too many as it's off a stick. As Davies back around the net towards the right wing. Righty shot in a tough angle, saved by Wells. Webster battles on the rebound along with Gillette and a couple of Oilers. As Gillette out towards Friesen. Friesen knocks down an Oilers. He was accelerating towards center ice. Grizzlies will fit in a line change. As there's 2:49 on a moving clock, first period. Still no score. Both teams have had pretty good looks as both goaltenders seem to be on point so far. Rink-wide pass is picked off by the Grizzlies. 3-on-2. As Utah, Shea gets it towards Gratton. No, it looked like they were trying to get to Barbashev, and that one's denied. Stucker from the right side. His shot's blocked. Tulsa fires it towards the left wing, and the Oilers deep in the Grizzlies zone come up with it as icing was waved off. Tulsa in the middle of a line change. They wait for everybody else to enter the offensive zone. It's puck towards the right side as Petrie will slide it back as goes to the right side. Now Tulsa, far side, tried to roll it around the net as Wells couldn't come up with it. Puck back towards the left point as Tulsa zips it back around the wall. About 2 minutes left in the first period. And now the whistle blows. Something must have happened away from the screen. And that stops play. 2:06 is left in the first. Draws going to be at neutral ice as if an offside were called. And unfortunately, we are at the mercy of this one camera feed, so we are going to have some details that from time to time we're going to miss, and unfortunately, there's not much we can do about it. So Draws going to be at neutral ice near dot, as both teams have had some pretty good looks. Tulsa utilizing their team speed, and the Oilers are hungry for a victory, as it has been a little bit of a struggle for Tulsa here this season. Puck back at neutral ice. Oilers get it in on Wells. It's a shot mistake from neutral ice. Wells will cover up. And so even if it was just a dump in, what the Oilers accomplished there is to get an offensive zone face-off with 1:53 left in the first. If you joined us late, Grizzlies are rolling with, we believe, 15 skaters tonight. Aiden Hansen-Bukata doesn't appear to be able to go for the second straight night. Same is the case for Luke Manning. Cooper Gay is also out for the first time this series. Jack Ricketts is missing his 6th straight game. Christoph Villian and Avery Winslow missed the last handful of games. Puck at neutral ice. Danny Genev bouncing off an Oiler. Taking its free. He'll skate towards the left side. Centers to Timofeyev. He'll take a righty shot. Somehow Buyet's made a save. White kept it a scoreless game. Grade A stop by the Tulsa goaltender, who appeared in one NHL game with Anaheim earlier this month. As puck back towards the right wing, Genev fires the lefty shot, saved by Buyet's. Friesen was looking for the rebound, but he was occupied by 3 Oilers. Tulsa comes with the puck, and they'll move it out to center ice. Right wing feed connects tape to tape as Tulsa skates and stops along the right wing. Now the Oilers get denied. A Grizzly gets tripped up, but that's going to be called. Delayed penalty. Utah is going to get a power play. Friesen over the offense line gets to Genev. He'll skate towards the right corner. Now he stops, reverses his field. He'll push it up top. 6-on-5. Utah's net's empty as puck goes back to neutral ice. Tulsa's trying to touch it up, but Felton keeps control of the puck. Delayed penalty with less than a minute left in the first period. Felton has it. Make that Colby Enns at the Utah line, as Enns is out there with Felton. Now both teams make a line change here in this delayed penalty. Grizzlies cross center ice, and now the puck goes towards the Tulsa net and misses just wide. Grizzlies chase after it. Boy, that would have been dangerous if Utah would have thrown it in their own net on a delayed penalty. Grizzlies get towards the far side, and Tulsa touches it up, and Utah will get a power play. But boy, once the puck started sliding towards the Grizzlies, I think everybody in a Grizzlies uniform and every Grizzlies fan kind of was a little bit worried because there's nobody there to stop it if it would have gone into the crease. And so it looks like it's going to be a Utah power play. Still no score, 32.7 seconds left in the first. And if you joined us late, I guess according to a press release, and we honest to goodness, we didn't know until a couple hours ago that Daniel Amesbury was traded to Adirondack for cash considerations. As Gratton will take the draw against Jackson Weeb. And Weeb, he's not a native of Utah, but he certainly spells like somebody from Utah. Stucker from the left wing is shots denied. I'm not sure if it got towards Butjetz or not. Tulsa clears it out. As Tulsa now has the puck. They skate in, backhand shot, saved by Wells. Boy, what a stop by Dylan Wells. As Tulsa had the puck on a just about breakaway. Colson Petrie, one of their best players, one of their best forwards, had a pretty good look, but Wells made a great ace save. 4 seconds left in the period. Gratton crosses center ice, and he lays it for Barbashev, and time runs out. Utah will be on the power play for the first minute and 28 seconds of the second period. Boy, both teams had some good looks, but both goaltenders were spot on. As Butjetz with a great A save on Timofeyev a couple minutes ago, and then it looked like shorthanded. Tulsa had a pretty nice look. It was that extreme wide angle, so we didn't get a good look at it, but it looked like Dylan Wells made an amazing save to keep it a scoreless game. Well, both teams have to like what they've done defensively. Nobody scored a goal, and we're still looking. This is the second straight game the Grizzlies have played in where they were scoreless after one period. Well, we'll come back and talk some hockey and recap the first 20 minutes and also go over some NFL, NHL, and scores across the four-letter league. No score between the Grizzlies and the Oilers. Both teams had more than a dozen shots in the first frame. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
Tonight's game is brought to you by the ECHL, celebrating its 38th season of affordable family entertainment. The ECHL would like to thank everyone in attendance for your support of ECHL hockey. The ECHL would also like to recognize the following league sponsors: AMI Graphics, exclusive signage provider; Athletic Knit, official jersey supplier; Baron Rings, official championship ring supplier; BFL Canada Insurance and Sutton Special Risk, sponsors of the 2026 ECHL Hall of Fame induction ceremony; Dash, official mobile auction platform; The Fairley Group, official commercial insurance provider; Flow Sports, exclusive streaming provider; Hotel Planner, official hotel reservations partner; Howie's Hockey Tape, exclusive hockey tape and lace provider; In Glasgow, exclusive puck provider; Prolific One, exclusive secondary ticketing partner; and Warrior, exclusive on-ice equipment provider and title sponsor of the 2026 ECHL All-Star Classic. Catch all of the ECHL action live in high definition by logging on to flowhockey.tv.
After one period of play, no score between the Grizzlies and the Tulsa Oilers. As the third meeting this season between the clubs, Utah won 2 games over at BOK Center in the month of November. Quite a few shots on both sides. Tulsa had 14, Utah 13 in the first period. Utah is in the middle of their second power play of the afternoon. J.C. Broussard got a hooking minor, 13:55 into the first. Broussard was a member of the Grizzlies during the 2019-2020 season. In 35 games with Utah, he had 3 goals and 9 assists and a +2 rating. It's his second year with the Oilers. He played with Tulsa during the 2020-21 season. In 48 games, he had 2 goals and 9 assists. So he's in his second stint as an Oiler. Grizzlies, they got a couple gut shots, if I remember right, on that first power play, but couldn't find the back of the net. And then Tyler Polson got a hooking minor, 19:27 in. Grizzlies did hold on to the puck for 37 seconds on the delayed penalty. But the Grizzlies looked like Timofeyev, and I think this when they were still skating 5-on-5, a couple minutes left in the first period, Timofeyev had an outstanding look and somehow Butjet's denied him. One of the best saves in the league this week. And then when the Grizzlies were shorthanded, looked like Petrie had a pretty good look. Unfortunately, the camera angle was a little bit too wide, so it was tough to really tell where the puck was or what kind of a save Wells made, but it looked like Wells made an outstanding save late in the first period to keep it a scoreless game. Grizzlies have scored 4 shorthanded goals this season. They've also allowed 4 shorthanded goals this year, including 1 in the second period last night. In terms of the 13 shots, Riley Connors had 3, 2 shots each for Timofeyev, Friesen, Danny Genev, and Maxime Barbashev, and 1 shot for Robbie Stucker and Tyler Gratton. Among the 14 shots that Tulsa had in the first period, Colson Petrie led the way with 3, 2 shots each for Michael Davies, Easton Armstrong, and the former Grizzly Dylan Fitz, and then 1 shot each for a handful of Oilers. So really the first period was dominated by both teams' goaltenders. Dylan Wells stopped all 14 he saw, and Vyacheslav Butjets stopped all 13 he saw. Not the first time this season that Butjets has faced a team that plays its home games in the state of Utah. Butjets played in the third period of the Utah Mammoth 7-0 victory over the Anaheim Ducks. That was that game on national TV a couple weeks ago. So we'll see what happens in the second. It's the second straight game where the Grizzlies were scoreless after 1 period. Unfortunately, the second period didn't go Utah's way as Kansas City scored 2 unanswered in the second period and 1 early in the third period to make it a 3-0 game. But then the Grizzlies put together a furious rally towards the end. And they scored 2 goals in a 26-second stretch. First goal was scored 18-11 into the third, and then 26 seconds later, Friesen scored. And then Utah had about 2 or 3 really good looks in the final minute to try to tie it up, but just ran out of time last night against Kansas City. Handful of games in the league. It looks like there are 6 games across the 4-letter league. After 2 periods, Adirondack leads Norfolk 3-2. Adirondack is 12-8-3-1 on the year. Norfolk is 7-17-2. Late second period, Florida and Savannah are tied at 2. Also after 2 periods, Orlando leads South Carolina 2-0. Late second period, Louis Benone scored 9:25 in the Atlanta Gladiators, who have a record of 18-6. We saw them at Maverick Center last weekend. They lead Greenville 1-0. Greenville's 11-9-4 on the year. Getting underway in about 20 minutes from now, Allen is at Kansas City. I actually talked with Tommy Daniels earlier today and trying to talk with a couple of the other broadcasters in the league and get their thoughts on what could happen, might happen after the Christmas break. It's one of those things where Allen looks like they're playing some pretty good hockey, and they're taking on Kansas City this afternoon. Grizzlies split a 2-game series earlier this weekend over in Kansas City, winning 7-4 on Friday night, and then losing that 3-2 game where Utah put together the comeback bid last night. A handful of games in the National Hockey League. Actually, it looks like there's a little bit more than a handful. Grizzlies NHL affiliate, the Colorado Avalanche, will be in action. They will be on the road to take on the Minnesota Wild. Once again, it's a 4:00 start. How about Colorado? They've got a record of 25-2-7 on the year. Nathan McKinnon has 28 goals and 31 assists. You talk about an MVP-type performance. There's your MVP right there, Nathan McKinnon. If he does anything in the second half of the year, he's going to put together one of the greatest seasons in Avalanche history. Getting underway at 5:00 over at Delta Center, the Utah Mammoth have a record of 17-17-3. They will take on the 15-17-2 New York Jets, or Winnipeg Jets. It is an NFL Sunday after all. Dylan Gunther leads Utah with 16 goals this season. Clayton Keller leads the Mammoth with 19 assists, and Karel Vejmelka has 15 victories in net. In fact, Vejmelka has 15 of the Mammoth's 17 victories. That's going to get underway at about 5:00. So a doubleheader of sorts. Grizzlies and Oilers over at BOK Center, and the Mammoth downtown with the home game against the Winnipeg Jets. At 5:00, the Senators are at the Bruins. Sabres are at the Devils. Canadians at the Penguins. Rangers are at the Predators. Also at 5:00, the Maple Leafs take on the Dallas Stars. At 6:00, the Golden Knights take on the Edmonton Oilers. One final score in the National Hockey League. Red Wings in overtime get a game winner from Morris Sider, and the Red Wings defeat the Capitals 3-2. That overtime game winner was scored 4:36 in as Detroit defeats Washington 3-2. When we come back, we'll go over some National Football League scores here late in the regular season. Just a couple weeks left in the NFL regular season. Couple roster moves that the Grizzlies made earlier today. Daniel Amesbury was traded to Adirondack for cash considerations. And Cooper Gay's not in the Grizzlies lineup. The reason is he's been recalled to the AHL's Colorado Eagles. So Cooper Gay now plays for the Colorado Eagles. That was announced just a couple minutes ago. We'll come back and go over some NFL scores and also talk some hockey and talk about the playoff picture that the Grizzlies are facing in the Mountain Division. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Grisby commutes to work by riding UTA. It gives him time to make friends and relax before arriving to the Maverick Center. But how can Grisby keep enjoying that feeling throughout the entire day? An idea! Utah Transit Authority, proud sponsors of the Utah Grizzlies.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
After one period, no score between the Grizzlies and Oilers. Remember, the Grizzlies will be on the power play for the first minute and 28 seconds of the second period. Week 16 in the National Football League. A few games have gone final. Bengals get a 45-21 victory over the Miami Dolphins. Quinn Ewers got the start for Miami. The seventh-round pick out of Texas. He threw for 260 yards, but had two interceptions and no touchdowns. 4 touchdown passes for Joe Burrow. Bengals go to 5-10 on the year, and the Dolphins fall to 6-9. Titans get a big victory over the Kansas City Chiefs, 26-9. Gardner Minshew got injured. He was backing up Patrick Mahomes, so second straight week a Chiefs quarterback goes down with an injury. Titans get a big performance out of Cam Ward, 2 touchdown passes. Spears with a touchdown run, 102 rushing yards for Tony Pollard, and the Titans defeat the Chiefs 26-9. Vikings get a 16-13 victory on the road at the New York Giants. Vikings are now 7-8. Giants are 2-13. Saints get a big victory over the Jets, 29-6. Will in the Grizzlies office has to be happy about that. He's a Saints fan. Chargers over the Cowboys, 34-17. Chargers go to 11-4 on the year. Cowboys are 6-8-1. Bills hold on for a 23-20 victory over the Cleveland Browns. Josh Allen, no touchdown passes, no interceptions. Cook had 2 touchdown runs for the Bills. Shedeur Sanders was 20 of 29 passing for 157 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. So Shedeur Sanders, a decent game, but 2 more interceptions for the Browns quarterback. Panthers get a home victory 23-20 over the Buccaneers. That's certainly a big one in the NFC South race, as the Panthers get a 3-point victory. Games in progress, late first quarter. Cardinals lead the Falcons 10-3. Jaguars have a 7-0 lead over the Broncos. That game just getting underway in the second quarter. Late first quarter, Pittsburgh leads Detroit 3-0. And midway through the first quarter, Texans lead the Raiders 7-0. So that's the NFL scoreboard on this Sunday afternoon. And we mentioned earlier the 2 NHL games are probably watching the most. The Avalanche, Grizzlies NHL affiliate, 25-2-7 on the year. They will take on Minnesota at 4 o'clock, and at 5 o'clock over at Delta Center, the Utah Mammoth will host the Winnipeg Jets. Second period action will begin here shortly, as the Grizzlies, after today, will have a 4-day Christmas break. But then the Grizzlies this upcoming weekend will have a big 2-game series against the Idaho Steelheads, and Idaho's actually had a pretty good year. The Grizzlies held their ground against them earlier this season, but Idaho finds themselves in first place in the Mountain Division with 39 standings points and a record of 18-8-3. Kansas City, though, Idaho has played in 29 games. Kansas City's played in 25 games. Kansas City actually has a better point percentage at 680 compared to Idaho's 672. Kansas City, we saw them over the last couple days. They've got a record of 16-7-1-1. Tahoe's in third place with 34 points and a 586-point percentage. Although, it's one of those things, you got the standings points, and you got the point percentages. Tahoe and Idaho have played 29 games. Kansas City's only played 25, and they're going to play their 26th game of the season a few minutes from now against the Allen Americans. Allen's actually played some pretty good hockey. Remember, they played the Grizzlies 6 times over a 2-week stretch a few weeks ago. Allen is in fourth place with 29 standings points and a 580-point percentage, and that's certainly a critical spot because the top 4 teams in each division make the playoffs. Wichita's in fifth place with 26 points and an even 500-point percentage with a record of 11-2-2. Rapid City's in sixth place with a record of 12-13-2 and a 481-point percentage. Grizzlies right now are in seventh place with a record of 11-13-2. Utah can jump within a tie of sixth place with Rapid City with a victory today. Wichita also with 26 points. So the Grizzlies, with a win today, can jump up to a tie for fifth in terms of standings points with Wichita and Rapid City. Tulsa finds themselves in last place in the Mountain Division with 18 points and a record of 9-16 on the season. So it looks like second period will begin here shortly in a couple minutes from now. It was I don't want to mention or jinx anything, kind of a quick moving first period. Both teams had some pretty good looks. And I think just about every club that plays today, and after all their 6 different games in the league, I got to imagine that every team and every official and everybody involved in any of these games wants to get the game moving along rather quickly, knowing that all the teams will have a 4-day Christmas break after the games are over. So we'll see what happens. Grizzlies obviously, are going to be on the road quite a bit over the next couple weeks, but next week, the Grizzlies will be at home Friday and Saturday, December 26th and 27th. And if you got some last-minute shopping to do, I think one of the best things to do is to get your tickets for this weekend. Grizzlies and Steelheads, for my money, the best rivalry in the league, but it's the final 2 times these teams will ever see each other. Grizzlies coaches are on the bench. John Buchanan in a light suit jacket. Kind of looks like a bit of a gray, silverish look. And then Ryan Anderson, DJ McFarland standing nearby those guys as well. The Oilers hit the ice, and the Grizzlies will hit the ice as well. Tulsa's locker room is connected towards their bench, and the Grizzlies have to walk around a tunnel to get to the ice from the bench area or from the locker room. So it looks like both teams will hit the ice. Remember, the Grizzlies will be on the power play for the first minute 28 of the second period. We'll come back and have second period action. We'll return in 1 minute, and we'll see what Utah can do on their power play. Still looking for the game's first goal. No score between the Grizzlies and the Oilers. You've been tuned in to the Intermission Report on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
Last game before the Christmas break. We're still looking for the game's first goal. And getting the first goal has certainly been important for both teams, both the Grizzlies and Oilers. And it certainly means a lot for the Grizzlies to get on the board first. They are 8-4-1 when scoring first. And that's been a big key to the Grizzlies' success on the road is being able to get off the fast starts. Grizzlies will have Reed Lepster out there with Tyler Gratton, Neil Shea, Maxime Barbashev. That's the 4 forwards, and Robbie Stucker's a lone defenseman. That's a party of 5 for Utah on their power play. As they put 20 minutes on the second intermission clock, the second period clock, Grizzlies will be on the power play for the first minute 28. We'll see if Utah can get on the board. As Gratton will take the draw against, I believe that's Connor Smith. And face off at center ice. Grizzlies are skating from right to left as we see it from Flow Sports, and we do ask for a little bit of patience with our listening audience, as unfortunately we are at the mercy of what is a very odd camera feed. Stucker drops it off as Lepster moves it across to Shea, who gains center ice, gets towards Barbashev. It feeds it to the middle of the ice. It's picked off, and the Oilers will shovel it out all the way towards Wells as the puck ends up out of play. Is that delay of game? Tulsa might have done that from their own zone. Did it glance off the glass? I believe that's going to be delay of game. Grizzlies are going to get a 5-on-3 power play for 1:09. A Tulsa player gave a fan a souvenir from his own zone. So 2 minutes for delay of game. So the Grizzlies will have a 5-on-3 power play for 1:09. So a golden opportunity for the Grizzlies to get on the board here early in the second. Time of the delay of game penalty, 19 seconds in. As draw one by Utah. Lepster gets up top to Shea. Across to Stucker, back to Shea on the left side. Shea leads the Grizzlies with 4 power play goals this season over to Stucker as Stucker and Shea switch places. Now Shea and Stucker switch places again. Now Stucker's on the right side. He'll take a righty shot, and it goes wide. Puck slides along the near wing boards. Shea gets towards Lepster. Dane goes back and forth in the left corner. Now he directs it to Shea. Shea back towards Lepster in the left circle as Lepster gets it back up top to Stucker. Over to Lepster. 40 seconds left in the 5-on-3 as Lepster gets to the right side. He'll take a righty shot that goes wide. Not sure if Boutjet's got a piece of it. As Stucker skates towards the left wing, now he veers off to his right. As Stucker will get it back towards Lepster in the left wing. As Lepster dangles back and forth, he'll chip it to the left goal line for Gratton, back towards Lepster. He directs up top towards Stucker. Stucker lays it back for Lepster. Lepster across towards Shea, one-timer. And I think Boutjet's might have got a piece of it. Lepster back towards the left wing. 12 seconds left in the 5-on-3. Shea with an A on his sweater gets the Stucker back to Shea. One-timer saved by Boutjet. Rebound shot, and that one's blocked away as Barbashev had the second chance. Barbashev tried to get it towards Grant and went past him, and it slides back towards the right point. Stucker hustles to keep it in. Now we're skating 5-on-4 as Tyler Polson's out of the box. As Stucker right wing, righty shot saved by Boutjet. Grant and Barbashev net front trying to redirect it or get a rebound. But Boutjet holds on with 18:24 left in the second and 44 seconds left in the power play. So Toronto Grizzlies did have a ton of offensive zone time there on both the 5-on-3 and 5-on-4. We're skating 5-on-4 for the next 44 seconds. Still looking for the game's first goal. As the Grizzlies win the draw in their black jerseys, white numbers, professional green trim, is Danny Genev, right side dangling back and forth. He's got 7 power play assists on the year. Felton back toward Genev, one-timer, saved by Boutjet. He gets it cleanly as he holds on. As Riley Connors was looking for a redirection, but Boutjet makes a stop. 18:13 left in the second and 33 seconds left in the power play. If you duck down for a few minutes for the intermission report, we found out in the transaction list that Cooper Gay was recalled to the AHL's Colorado Eagles. Gay had 2 assists in 4 games at Utah earlier this season. In fact, he had an assist in each of the first 2 games on this road trip, both the games in Kansas City. Puck is cleared into the Grizzlies zone. 25 seconds left in the power play. As Wells drops behind his net. Felton lets it go for Connors. Connors, rink-wide feed, goes deep into the Oilers zone. And a battle along the near side. Now Tulsa will overskate the puck. Timofeyev down the middle of the ice, splits a double team. He'll get to the right side. Genev's shot. And believe it or not, we couldn't see where that shot was located as we couldn't see the Tulsa net on this video feed. Final game the Grizzlies will ever have at BOK Center. Tulsa clears it all the way out. Coming out of the box, we couldn't see who it was that got the delay of game penalty. We're skating 5-on-5 now, 2.5 minutes into the second period. Connor skates around everybody on the Oilers squad. He'll take a righty shot. He scores! Riley Connors gets his second of the year. He went coast to coast to give Utah a 1-0 lead. Boy, it looked like Connors just kind of slithered his way around the entire Tulsa defense as if he were Danny Ainge in the 1981 Sweet 16 against Notre Dame. And then he somehow fired it past Boutjet to give Utah a 1-0 lead. So Riley Connors with his outstanding skating ability as he just got around everybody on the Oilers ice as Luke Salem. I believe we're back to live action as Salem dumps it in from center ice as Gillette gets hit. And the glass goes swaying back and forth behind Boutjet's net. So the Grizzlies lead 1-0. 17:07 is the time remaining second period. Starting pass by Tulsa goes wide as the Oilers fire towards the net. Wells appears to make a save as Enns will slide it towards the left wing. Tulsa is being shadowed by Reed Lepster. Oilers going to get it back in deep. Justin McAlien behind Utah's net. Ends looking nearby. Now the Oilers get it. Shot and a score. McAlien to Poulsen to the back of the net. And the Oilers quickly respond to tie it up with 16:49 left in the second. Tyler Poulsen high fives everybody on the Oilers bench. When he was with Rapid City many years ago, he gave the Grizzlies fits. Tyler Poulsen gets his second of the year. He was a +1 coming into play tonight as McAlien had the puck behind Utah's net. And Salem was nearby, so was Enns. McAlien found Poulsen right in front of the net. McAlien was challenged by end backhand dish towards Poulsen, and Poulsen fired it past Wells. So the Oilers get on the board. Tyler Poulsen sporting an A on his sweater. It's kind of an interesting looking sweater the Oilers have. I got to imagine somebody in the Tulsa front office is either a baseball fan or a Yankees fan. It's a white pinstripe jersey with a little bit of blue and orange mixed in. Grizzlies over the offensive zone. Neil Shea gets behind Tulsa's net. They try to shovel it out in front. Bootyets makes a save. Well, it looked like I couldn't tell if that was Gratton or if it was somebody else in front of the net, but looked like the Grizzlies kind of passed in front of the crease, and Bootyets made a key save to keep it a 1-1 tie. So after no goals in the first period, Riley Connors scored, it appears to be unassisted, 2:34 in, and less than a minute later, 3:11 in, it was Tyler Poulsen getting his second of the year with Justin McAlien and Brody Stewart getting the assists. Stewart with his 10th assist of the year. The main assists go to Justin McAlien, who picks up his 7th helper of the campaign. Tulsa gets the puck. They're skating from left to right in the period. Left wing, lefty shot that goes wide as Weeb gets back behind Utah's net. Now the Oilers get it back towards Jackson Weeb, who spells his name Jaxsen. And believe it or not, he's not from Utah, even though it's kind of a Utah spelling. Weeb has the puck. And not to be confused with like Weber State or anything like that. I'm not sure where Jackson Weeb's from, but it should be the state of Utah. As puck back towards the right wing. Oilers get towards the right circle. Weeb with a shot that misses wide glove side on Wells. Cade McNally, no points, and 51 penalty minutes on the year. He gets taken away by Shea. Barbashev gets the puck. He skates along Broadway. Down the middle of the ice, splits a double team, gets taken down. Bootyets will shovel it towards the near side. No penalty on the play, though, as Barbashev tried to split a double team, skating towards the Tulsa net. As we played 4.5 minutes of the second period, we're tied at 1. Nobody scored in the first period, but action's picked up here over at BOK Center. We're hanging out the Professional Green Studios just outside the Grizzlies team store at Maverick Center. Genev right side will take a lefty shot that goes wide. Bootyets might have gotten a piece of it with his stick as Mike McKee will get it behind his net. Cade McNally being shadowed by Genev. Genev took it away. Dylan Fitz along the right wing boards. Now it goes towards McNally as Timofeyev taps it away from him as McKee throws it back to the spot where the puck vacated. As Fitz and Felton collides with Fitz. Puck glances off a couple sticks as Fitz gets the puck, skates around a couple Grizzlies. Now he skates towards the right side. Fitz looking for a righty shot. That's blocked away by the stick of Weinstein. Now Fitz cuts in front of Dylan Wells. Fitz gets the puck on the left wing, feeds up top. Lefty shot and a score. Oilers take a 2-1 lead. And it looks like it's Connor Smith getting his 4th goal of the year. And that was one that Wells would have loved to have back. As Wells tried to get down on the butterfly, just ricocheted off the Utah goaltender and went past the goal line. So Smith gets the goal. They show it in slow motion. I'm not sure if it got redirected by the Oiler. That was about 5 feet in front of the crease. But the Oilers take a 2-1 lead with 14:42 left in the second. So Draw's going to be at center ice. And obviously for Dylan Wells, he's played all weekend. It's his 3rd game in less than 48 hours. And really for goaltenders, every game takes something out of them. And usually goaltenders lose about 5 or 6 pounds per game just in sweat and having to carry all that big equipment and wear it for multiple hours. Grizzlies centering pass, backhand shot, and that one's blocked away by Bootyets. Salem gets hit up high. He's laying in front of Tulsa's net as Colson Petrie. He gets taken down by Gratton, now right wing. Lefty shot, kick saved by Wells. And the puck goes back towards center ice. Oilers zip it back in. Puck ricochets off the inboard on kind of a hot hop. As Colby Enns gets the puck, he'll skate behind Wells' net. That's the first time I've ever used the word hot hop. Try saying that fast 5 times. I definitely won't. Enns out towards center ice rink wide feed. Goes past Barbashev deep in the Oilers zone. Boutiette slides it around the left wing wall as Riley Connors tries to backhand it out in front of the net. Now right wing, righty shot misses wide. As dancing around as Robbie Stucker will pitch it to Barbashev, who's in the left wing. Barbashev back towards Stucker, is now in the high slot. He'll take a righty shot, and that's blocked. Stucker gets it back. He dances around. He fires one towards the net, and it goes wide. Barbashev looking for a backhand dish to Connors. Now the Grizzlies get back to the right wing, but Tulsa takes control of the puck. Oilers will jump it out towards center ice. Now Gansky gets it, and we get a whistle. As puck was at neutral ice, something must have happened away from the play, as there's 13:08 left in the second period. Oilers lead 2-1. Connor Smith scored 5:18 into the second with Fitz and Brooks getting the assist. Grizzlies' goal was scored by Riley Connors, and that was 2:34 into the second. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, and partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
So action offensively certainly picked up here in the second period. Utah got on the board 2:34 in as Riley Connors got his second of the year, and he just kind of skated around everybody in the Tulsa defense down the middle of the ice and then fired it past Boutiette's. And then Tulsa's responded with 2 unanswered. As Drozgby at neutral ice, we believe that we're not sure why whistle blew. It might have been offside. Boutiette's comes well out of his crease to play the puck as the Oilers will set up shop, skating from left to right, Grizz from right to left as we see it from Flow Sports. Tulsa out towards center ice. Puck goes deep into the Grizzlies zone. No icing behind Utah's net. Oilers trying to move it out in front. Too many bodies in the way. As Grizzlies moving out towards center ice. Now Tulsa wings it back in. Wells behind his net cuts it off. And this is his third game this weekend for Dylan Wells. And so obviously fatigue might play a little bit of a role. He would have loved to have had that Connor Smith shot back. As Grizzlies back towards center ice. Trying to get towards Genev. Tulsa took it away. As Fitz moves it towards the left wing. An Oiler gets occupied. Good shot, good defensive play. As Utah cut off Justin McGalian's pursuit. Now the puck slides slowly into the Oilers zone. Oilers are bouncing off Armstrong's stick. Weinstein fires it back in. As puck wings around the boards. One of the referees trying to get out of the way. There's 2 referees this afternoon. Out to center ice. As it goes past Salem. Now the move puck at center ice. Salem gets occupied by Armstrong. Salem regathers the puck. He'll move it to his left for Gillette. And Gillette will drive it back in. Boutiette's behind his net. Will feed it towards the right wing. As the Oilers, with a gentle push and a mild arc, and it goes towards neutral ice. Grizzlies try to re-enter. So they were denied at the Tulsa line. Oilers zip it across as Armstrong gets it off the wall. He'll feed it behind Tulsa's net. As the Oilers, with a long-range pass down the middle of the ice, goes past everybody, ricochets off the end boards, and Wells will cover it up around the far goal line as Easton Armstrong was chasing after the puck. So Drozgby in the Grizzlies zone. 11:27 left in the second period. Last game before the Christmas break. Utah will be at home on Friday and Saturday night against the first-place Idaho Steelheads. Get your tickets to UtahGrizzlies.com. It's the final 2 regular season meetings ever between the Grizzlies and Steelheads. So Drozgby over in the left circle. Grizzlies rolling with 15 skaters tonight, 9 forwards and 6 defensemen. John Gillette will take the draw, and it's won by Tulsa. As puck along the boards, as Gillette and an Oiler get physical. Now Tulsa gets a deep run of the Grizzlies zone. As looks like Salem gets pinned to the boards by Keegan Iverson. Iverson's been in this league for a while. Enns comes out with the puck, dangling back and forth. He'll backhand it ahead towards Gratton, who trying to get it about waist high, batted off his stick. As Grizzlies, somebody from neutral ice dumped it in. 11 minutes on a moving clock, second period. And Tulsa leads 2-1. As the Oilers skeet down the right wing, lefty shot, stick saved by Wells. Connors will steer it back to center ice for Lebster as Lebster stops on a dime near the Utah bench. Now the puck rolls back towards the near side, and we can tell this camera does not have a tripod on it. As Tulsa back towards the far side, rink wide feed, angle right is incomplete, doesn't bounce off any sticks, and it appears icing is on the Oilers with 10:38. That's the time remaining in the second period. So draw comes back towards Vyacheslav Butyets. Both Butyets and Wells have played in one NHL game in their career. Nobody can ever, in the rest of their life, and even beyond that, they can say that they made it. Butyets played in the third period on December 3rd as he faced 10 shots and saved 7 of them against the Utah Mammoth. That's the game the Mammoth won 7-0. For Dylan Wells, he got in one game with the Chicago Blackhawks, and that was back in the 2022-23 season. Off the draw, shot saved by Butyets. 10:32 left in the second. Faceoff's going to be back in the Tulsa zone. Both teams will switch up skaters. Grizzlies a bit shorthanded. They had 18 skaters on Friday, and then yesterday, Luke Manning and Aiden Hansen-Bukata were unable to go. Today, Cooper Gay was called up to the AHL's Colorado Eagles, and it appears that Hansen-Bukata unable to go. And so the Grizzlies went all of a sudden are playing with a 15. Noah Gansky was questionable, but he is able to go. I'm not sure if he's been out there for a regular shift or not here this evening. As the Oilers get it back in, Wells wanted icing, but none was called as action behind Wells' net towards the near side. And the Grizzlies get it up but not out. Now Tulsa gets it back in deep. They'll feed it towards the left wing. Lefty shot. That one ricochets off the backboard. Now Tulsa banks it off the wall. As Broussard gets towards the high slot, lefty shot. That one's blocked away. Grizzlies clear it out. Barbashev gets the puck 1-on-2. Skates over the offense line, gets around an Oiler. Skates in. Shot is saved by Butyets. Puck goes back towards center ice. Oilers enter from the right wing, and the pass was overled as they're trying to get it towards Josh Nelson, number 19. Now the Grizzlies gain center ice, and they'll scoop it in as Utah will make a full line change. 9:31 on a moving clock, second period. Tulsa leads 2-1. McAlien gets around a Grizzly. Now McAlien gets it back. He'll slide it around the boards. And now Tulsa reverses it back behind Utah's net. Wells towards the right wing as Tulsa gets it back up top. Puck goes to neutral ice, and so Tulsa resets. Utah takes control. Grizzlies ahead, looking for Genev. Now Genev gets knocked down on a back check as Tulsa comes back the other way. Boy, this screen is moving back and forth, and so it makes you dizzy watching this thing. Tulsa fires towards the net. It gets redirected by a stick, and it goes out of play. 9:01 left in the second period, and the Oilers still lead the Grizzlies 2-1. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
Minutes and 1 second is left in the second period. Tulsa leads 2-1. Grizzlies got on the board first. Riley Connors, 2:34 into the second, scored unassisted. Tyler Polson tied it up, 3:11 into the second. And then Connor Smith gave the Oilers a 2-1 lead. He scored 5:18 in from the left point. So Draw's going to be over in the left circle. And obviously with players on both teams thinking about the Christmas break, it's an important time to just keep your focus and focus on the task at hand, which is today's game. Obviously, just about everybody is headed their separate ways for the Christmas break as puck goes back towards Tulsa ice. Chasing after it's Reed Lebster. A Grizzly falls down in the left corner. No call on the play as Gillette's laying on the puck. And so with that, I believe the whistle blows and stops play with 8:40 left in the second. And Gillette will get back to his feet as he had the puck pinned towards his left side. And Gillette, he's been a key contributor for the Grizzlies, certainly playing hard. And as is the case with a lot of first-year pros, John Gillette just continues to get better game in and game out. So faceoff's going to be at neutral ice. As Weinstein talking things over with the officials, he's probably wondering why it's a neutral zone draw. As Connors will take the faceoff. And with the Grizzlies being shorthanded, just about everybody's going to play big minutes for Utah this evening. Utah wins the draw. Weinstein filters it in. As McKee, rink-wide feed. It goes off the Utah backboards. Must have gotten redirected at neutral ice. There was no icing. As Grizzlies over the offensive line. As Barbashev in the left wing fires towards the net. It goes wide. He might have been looking for Connors to redirect it as he was cutting towards the net. As Utah moves it across. Puck lifts into the air and bounces off a Tulsa glove at center ice. Oilers dump it in as Barbashev delivered a push on an Oiler. As Grizzlies get it back towards Weinstein. He's in the near side. Weinstein strides up the left wing, gets the center ice, moves it ahead towards Shea. Shea down the middle of the ice for Connors. Connors round an Oiler. He'll take a righty shot. See, Barbashev tried to bat it about waist high, and he batted it a little bit wide. Tulsa might have redirected it off of Barbashev's stick. As the Oilers out to center ice, they'll zip it in. As puck towards the right side, Felton delivers a push on an Oiler. Now Felton takes the puck away from Tulsa. Christian Felton now accelerates around Josh Nelson, and he'll move it to his right. Grizzlies get it towards the right wing. Friesen shot saved by Butjetz, and somehow, in some way, the whistle blew. Looked like the puck was still alive as Butjetz had a bounce off of him. Then the puck trickled in front of the crease, and the whistle blew. 7:31's left in the second, and it's 2-1 Oilers, and the Grizzlies aren't arguing too much, but they're wondering why was the whistle blown so quickly. So it's going to be an offensive zone draw for Utah. So they've got the forward line of Timofeyev, Genev, and Friesen on the ice. It looked like a loose puck after it bounced off of Butjetz, and for some reason, the whistle blew. Grizzlies can't believe it as they continue to look towards what the referee that's off the screen, kind of hanging out in the left wing of the Oilers zone. Now Utah takes the puck as the puck slides off an Oilers stick. Loose puck, Stewart moves it out to center ice, goes into the Grizzlies zone. Colby Enns looks over his shoulder as he gets hit by Mikhalian. Timofeyev and Salem join the scene. Oh, Timofeyev gets blasted. Is he okay? Timofeyev got hit. That's going to be a penalty, I believe. Oh, he stepped on Timofeyev, got hit from behind, and now he's slow to get up. And that was kind of an awkward hit. And I think that's going to be a power play for Utah. And hopefully Stepan Timofeyev's okay. And just we're trying to figure out if he's okay. They show a shot of the Oilers dance crew. Never mind if Timofeyev's okay. We got to see some people dance. Hopefully Stepan's doing all right. Looked like he was able to get back to his feet, but a little bit slowly, though. As Genev skates towards the bench, and it does look like it's going to be a Utah power play as the draws game be in the Oilers zone. As Tyler Grant will take the draw. There's 7:10 left in the second period. Didn't get to see the referee's signal for what the penalty is. Might have been boarding or roughing. Probably boarding based on the nature of the hit. Watch out for Neil Shea. He's got 4 power play goals. He's due for one here. Tulsa leads 2-1. Oilers win the draw, and they'll hike it all the way towards Dylan Wells. So drop it for Robbie Stucker. Stucker quarterbacking this power play unit. He's been outstanding for the Grizzlies. He was acquired a couple weeks ago for Ty Voigt. Stucker had been playing for Reading. Shea over towards Barbashev, who whips it around the boards. Webster will backhand it to the corner for Gratton. Gratton feeds it up top. Stucker across to Shea just outside the left circle. Shea skates into the circle and nudge it back up top for Stucker. Stucker pedals towards his right, gets back towards Shea in the left wing. Shea moves it across. Webster trying to get it back towards the left wing, and the Oilers clear it out. So Stucker will get the puck at the near goal line. 1:15 left in Utah's power play. Stucker gets around one Oiler. Now Stucker gets towards center ice, and he'll push it across. Grizzlies enter down the middle, as we believe Webster. Now Webster, 13 goals this season. Up top for Stucker. We'll get it to the right side for Gratton. Gratton directs it to Shea in the left wing. Shea slides one towards Webster, trying to peel it back towards Shea. And Shea back towards Webster is behind Tulsa's net. Webster dangles back and forth, gets it to Shea in the left corner. And Shea back up top. Stucker moves to his right. He's got the blue line at his ankle. He fires a righty shot, and that's blocked before it gets to Butjetz, and the Oilers clear it out. Wells cuts it off at the far goal line. Both clubs will change up skaters as Christian Felton replaces Stucker. Felton moves his skates up ice. Now he pushes a pass towards his right. Grizzlies now across center ice as Genev steps over the offensive line. He's got an extra bounce to his step, especially here in this 3-3. Oilers move it back to center ice. Felton slides it to his right. Now left wing feed towards Timo Feyev, who didn't miss a shift. He was the one that got hit that drew the power play. As Grizzlies get it back towards Timo Feyev. One-timer, and that one goes wide stick side on Butjetz. The Oilers will nudge it all the way deep into the Grizzlies zone. So an Oiler player's out of the box. Neither team scored on a power play here so far tonight, and Tulsa leads 2-1. And we get a whistle. Something must have happened away from the play as both teams are changing up skaters. 5 minutes and 1 second is left in the second period, and Tulsa still leads 2-1. This is the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Grisby commutes to work by riding UTA. It gives him time to make friends and relax before arriving to the Maverick Center. But how can Grisby keep enjoying that feeling throughout the entire day? An idea! Utah Transit Authority, proud sponsors of the Utah Grizzlies.
Remember to get your tickets for future Grizzlies games this season. We got a lot of fun stuff happening in and around Maverick Center for the rest of the year. Don't forget this upcoming Friday and Saturday, the Grizzlies will have a 2-game series against the Idaho Steelheads, December 26th and 27th. Get your tickets to UtahGrizzlies.com. Some other fun stuff happening in the month of January. Kansas City will be in town on January 17th for Youth Sports Night. Then the Grizzlies' final Guns and Hoses extravaganza will be on Saturday, January 31st. Grizzlies will have a home game on Valentine's Day, so that will be a very festive atmosphere. Grizzlies will also have Grizzlies Fight Cancer Weekend on February 27th and 28th. Military Night, which is ever popular, will be on March 14th. Wild West Night will be on March 26th. It'll be an interesting night. I'm not entirely sure what that will entail, but that should be a ton of fun. As we're back to live action, Luke Salem lofts it deep into the Oilers zone as Grizzlies skate from right to left here in the second period. As I'm Tyson Whiting, hanging out one time zone away from where the game is being played. I'm at the Professional Green Studios, just outside the Grizzlies team store at Maverick Center. Oilers sky one into the Grizzlies zone, and they're called for offside with 4:40 left in the second. Utah's final Star Wars night will be on April 4th, and that's the next to final week of the regular season. And Fan Appreciation Night, which no doubt will be an incredibly emotional night. That'll be the Grizzlies' final regular season game in team history. That's April 11th against the red-hot Rapid City Rush. So draw's going to be over in the left circle. And it's taken by Gillette, and it's won by Tulsa. Tyler Polson, who scored Tulsa's first goal, across the center ice. He gets bounced to the boards by Salem. As Grizzlies spin the puck towards neutral ice. Lepser near the Oilers bench. He gets hit. Tulsa enters as they try to muscle their way around a Grizzly. As now Colbienz gets the puck. He'll get it ahead as Lepser knocks down an Oiler. Tyler Polson with a high hit on a Grizzly, and that was on Gillette. And that one probably should have drawn a penalty, but we can't see if one was called. As Polson lit up Gillette, hopefully he's all right. As Grizzlies certainly wanted to call there. As Riley Connors gets thrown to the boards by Michael Davies, who's in his 6th game of the year. As the Oilers race out towards center ice, Fitz will tap it ahead off a Weinstein stick. Now back behind the net, Armstrong tries to muscle his way through Barbashev. Barbashev trying to yank it away. Boy, Barbashev's been very impressive as a Grizzly. He certainly plays hard every shift. The Oilers back behind Utah's net as Fitz trying to feed it out in front. A Grizzly goes down. Interference is probably going to be the call. Who's it going to be on, though? 3:35 left in the second as they stop play. Unfortunately, we're missing some details there as to whether a penalty was called. It certainly looked like a loose puck. So I got to think a penalty was called, but I'm not sure who. Happy holidays, everybody. And hopefully everybody has a good holiday season. Christmas will be, Thursday? Then the Grizzlies will be at home on Friday and Saturday nights against the Idaho Steelheads. So faceoff is in the Grizzlies zone, and it looks like the Grizzlies picked up a penalty. It looked like Utah was trying to intercept the centering pass in the crease, and I got to imagine, unfortunately, we've got details that are missing here on this video feed. My guess is Barbashev picked up an interference minor as Tulsa wins the draw, and they get it towards the left wing. It's 2-1 Tulsa. Shot, save, rebound, shot, save, rebound, shot, and a score. And the Oilers score from the right wing, and that is Colson Petrie getting his third of the year. So it's a power play goal, and the Oilers have scored 3 unanswered in the second period. They lead 3-1. First shot went towards Polson, who backhanded it off the far post, and then Petrie got the shot and fired it over Wells, who was laying in the crease. Unfortunately, we saw it live. The camera feed was so wide we couldn't really tell where the puck was at times and didn't see the puck ricochet off the far post, and then Petrie got it in the right wing, and he fired it past Wells. So Polson's going to get an assist. He will have 1 goal and 1 assist here in the second period, and Colson Petrie gets his third goal of the year. So it's 3-1 Oilers. Genev left wing. A fire lefty shot. Glove saved by Butjetz. Butjetz takes the puck from inside his glove and taps it on the top of his glove, and he hands it to one of the linesmen. So 3:16 left in the second period. We'll see if the Grizzlies get back on the board. As Timofeyev, Friesen, I believe Genev, that's the 3 forwards for the Grizzlies. Friesen will take the draw. He's got a 5-game point scoring streak. He's trying to extend it to 6. Tulsa's Josh Nelson will take the draw for the Oilers. As Utah wins the faceoff, Salem gets taken away. Tulsa clears it out. Now the Grizzlies have it back at their blue line. Felton, rink-wide feed, angle left, off the boards. Butjetz well out of his crease to try to outlet it, but Friesen's able to keep it in. As Friesen skates towards the left corner, he gets taken away. Petrie strides along the wing. He gets the center ice and dumps it in. And you're hoping the Grizzlies have just enough gas to put together a comeback bid in a similar fashion that they had on Saturday, except for obviously the Grizzlies love to get a tying goal at some point. As Timofeyev, Grizzlies were 15 skaters, although I'm not sure I've seen Gansky take many shifts here in the second period. As Grizzlies, with a cross-country feed towards Friesen, went past him. Oilers deep in their own zone, 2:24 on a moving clock. As Mike McKee, sporting a mustache, looks like maybe even a goatee, he's behind his own net. Now McKee spins it towards the right wing. Puck goes towards Armstrong, dumps it in. Armstrong with a jump cut around a Grizzly. As Utah back around the boards, about 2 minutes left in the second period. Grizzlies get to Barbashev, who will move it towards the left circle. Barbashev will take a lefty shot, saved by Butjetz. The Oilers throw it up and not out. Weinstein in the left point. Gets it back in off the Tulsa backboard. Shea trying to get it to Connors. It glanced off of Connors' stick. Tulsa comes back the other way. Fitz strides down the middle of the ice, gets to Armstrong. Armstrong loses control of the puck. Grizzlies loft it back to center ice. Broussard feeds it towards the Tulsa bench. Fitz gets it off the wall, and he'll pitchfork it in. Broussard and Fitz are both former Grizzlies, but they didn't play in Utah at the same time. As Shea over the offensive line, as Broussard played in the 2019-2020 season, and Fitz at that time, I think, was a member of either Kansas City or Orlando. As Oilers couldn't reach it, as they were towards the Utah line. Grizzlies out to center ice. Now left wing Lepster skates towards left circle, puts a move on an Oiler. Now Lepster around the net. He's being shadowed by Connor Smith. Now Lepster skates towards the right side. He'll cycle it back to the spot he vacated. Back behind the net. John Gillette gets the puck. He'll skate towards the right side. Now he drops for Gratton, who feeds it back towards the right circle for Lepster. Now Gratton gets it back. He'll toss it up top. Righty shot misses wide. 55 seconds left in the period. Ends across to Felton. Now to Lepster in the left wing off his stick. It goes to the corner. Lepster chases after the loose puck. He gets it. Now ends down the middle of the ice. Righty shot's blocked. Utah trying to spin it towards Felton as the Oilers will race out towards center ice. Gratton continues his battle with Keegan Iverson over in the right corner. Iverson can get physical from time to time as Iverson and Gratton hold their ground. As Enns delivers some lumber on a Tulsa back, and that was McGalian who gets pushed in the back by Enns once again. 20 seconds left in the period, and the puck stays over in that corner. Now Enns takes control of the puck, skates around Enns' net, around Wells' net. Gillette gets to the Utah line, and he'll ice the puck. And the clock freezes with 7.7 seconds left in the second. So draw comes back towards Dylan Wells. Utah had a 2-goal deficit in last night's game. And today it's 3-1. Neither team scored in the first period. Riley Connors got Utah on the board, 2:34 in. And the Oilers have responded with 3 unanswered, including a power play goal by Colson Petrie that was assisted by Tyler Polson and J.C. Brassard. Oilers win the draw, shot saved by Wells, 4 seconds left in the period, as Tulsa will not get a shot off and time runs out in the second period. So the Grizzlies are going to be looking for a third period comeback. Both teams are definitely be fatigued in the third game in a 3-3, as both teams will head to the locker room. And we'll see what the Grizzlies have in store for the third. As Riley Connors got Utah on the board, he made it a 1-0 game, but Tulsa responded with 3 unanswered. We'll come back and talk some hockey and recap the first 40 minutes on the other side. Once again, the score after 40 minutes of play, it's the Tulsa Oilers 3 and the Utah Grizzlies 1. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Tonight's game is brought to you by the ECHL, celebrating its 38th season of affordable family entertainment. The ECHL would like to thank everyone in attendance for your support of ECHL hockey. The ECHL would also like to recognize the following league sponsors: AMI Graphics, exclusive signage provider; Athletic Knit, official jersey supplier; Baron Rings, official championship ring supplier; BFL Canada Insurance and Sutton Special Risk, sponsors of the 2026 ECHL Hall of Fame induction ceremony; Dash, official mobile auction platform; The Fairley Group, official commercial insurance provider; Flow Sports, exclusive streaming provider; Hotel Planner, official hotel reservations partner; Howie's Hockey Tape, exclusive hockey tape and lace provider; In Glasgow, exclusive puck provider; Prolific One, exclusive secondary ticketing partner; and Warrior, exclusive on-ice equipment provider and title sponsor of the 2026 ECHL All-Star Classic. Catch all of the ECHL action live in high definition by logging on to flowhockey.tv.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
After 2 periods over at BOK Center, it's Utah Grizzlies 1, the Tulsa Oilers 3. Nobody scored in the first period. Tulsa had 14 shots. Utah had 13. Riley Connors got Utah on the board, 2:34 in, as he just kind of negotiated his way around the entire Oiler defense down the middle of the ice, and he fired the puck past Butjetz. That was 2:34 into the second. Less than a minute later, Tulsa got on the board, 3:11 in, as Polson got a second of the year. McAlien and Stewart with the assist. McAlien was just kind of dancing around behind Utah's net, and then fed a pass out in front to Polson, who was just kind of hanging out in front of the net, as McAlien made the perfect pass, and Tolson fired it past Wells. Tulsa took a 2-1 lead, 5:18 into the second, as Connor Smith kind of fired an innocent-looking shot from the left point. And Wells, that's one he'd love to have back, as Smith got his 4th of the year. The former Grizzly Dylan Fitz and Zachary Brooks picked up the assists. Tulsa got a power play late in the second period as Maxime Barbashev got a hooky minor, 16:25 in, and 10 seconds into the power play, it was Colson Petrie getting his 3rd of the year with Polson, and Brassard gained the assist. It looked like Polson actually had the puck in the slot, and he fired it off the far post, and then the puck just kind of ricocheted off the post to a wide-open Petrie, and Wells lost his balance, and he was laying on the ice, and Petrie is able to roof it over Wells to give Tulsa a 3-1 lead. Utah outshot Tulsa 16-8 in the first period, or in the second period, and through two periods, Grizzlies have 29 shots to Tulsa's 22. So the Oilers are winning the special teams battle. Tulsa's 1 for 1 on the power play. Grizzlies have had 4 power plays so far tonight, and they are 0 for 4 on the man advantage. Of the 29 shots Utah has so far, Maxim Barbashev leads the way with 6. Riley Connors, 1 goal on 5 shots, and Danny Genev also with 5 shots, which is certainly not a surprise, as Genev is second among all league rookies in shots on goal. He came into play with 85 shots. He now has another 5, so he has 90 shots on the season. That does lead the Grizzlies. Evan Friesen and Robbie Stucker each have 3 shots. Stepan Timofeyev with 2 shots, and a handful of other Grizzlies with 1 shot on goal. For the Tulsa Oilers, Connor Smith has 1 goal on 5 shots. Colson Petrie has 1 goal on 5 shots as well. 2 shots for Michael Davies, Easton Armstrong, Zachary Brooks, and Dylan Fitz. For Tulsa, Vyacheslav Butyets, and he's a pretty good goaltender. Butyets has saved 28 of 29. And for Utah, Dylan Wells, in his 3rd straight day worth of a game, he played on Friday and Saturday night, picked up the victory on Friday, and he saw quite a few shots, but he was able to hold strong on Friday night. Fitz saved, I got Dylan Fitz on my mind. He was a Grizzly for so many years. Wells saved 37 of 41. Last night, Wells saved 39 of 42. So in the first 2 games of this series, Dylan Wells saw 83 shots, and he stopped 76 of them. And so Wells seen 22 shots, obviously. And you kind of think about the fatigue of being a goaltender. I mean, you think about all the equipment. I heard some goalies say they lose somewhere between 5 to 10 pounds per game. And so normally you see them either after a game or before a game just eat an insane amount of food because they know they're going to burn all of it off. So when you're doing that 3 straight days and with the intense, with the intensity of a game situation, 3 straight days, with all that padding and everything that goes with it, and there's a little bit of wear and tear. And so, for Dylan Wells, he just kind of, battling through it. Obviously a bit of fatigue and takes a lot out of you, especially in a 72-game schedule. And that's where usually in a 3-3, you may see a goaltender, if it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday set, they may go Friday and Sunday. And then obviously you would see somebody else go on Saturday. But the Grizzlies are just down to Dylan Wells. He's the only goaltender right now on the roster, as on Friday, Kyle Kaiser was recalled to the AHL's Colorado Eagles, and we're not entirely sure about the whereabouts of Kasimir Kaskisuo, even though he was suspended by a team. And usually in this league, when a player is suspended by a team, it usually means he signs with a club overseas. And that may be where Kaskisuo, we'll probably have to watch on YouTube. He is a YouTuber that's got 72.4 thousand subscribers. Maybe we'll have a video explaining where he is headed to next. But Grizzlies fans certainly got a strong first impression of him. And then just like that, it's kind of disappeared from the scene, which is very odd considering he was at practice every day this week. Well, looks like the Zamboni's on the ice doing its thing. And during the 3rd period, Grizzlies and Oilers will do their thing. The final regulation period before the Christmas break. Other action in the league. A game that's gone final, Adirondack defeats Norfolk 7-3. No former Grizzlies in the scoring sheet on either side. Late 3rd period, Florida leads Savannah 3-2. Florida's 18-6-1-1 on the year. Savannah is 10-11-2-1. Late 3rd period, Orlando leads South Carolina 4-0. And Kirsten has scored all 4 of the Orlando goals. So not only a shutout by an Orlando goaltender, Muse has saved all 26 he has seen, but Kirsten has all 4 of the Orlando goals. So you can pencil him in for the league's Player of the Week award. As Orlando, less than a minute left in regulation, they have a 4-0 road lead over South Carolina. Guy Krenza and Jared Youngman's Atlanta Gladiators lead 3-0. And how about this? Louis Boudon has all 3 of the Gladiators' goals. That game, late in regulation, there's about a minute left. Boudon scored 8:58 into the second period, 2:30 and 13:34 into the third periods. TJ Semptenfelter right now is pitching a 22-save shutout. So that game has 22 seconds left in regulation. Atlanta leads Greenville 3-0 in all three of the Gladiators' goals scored by Louis Boudon. After one period, Kansas City leads Allen 1-0. David Cotton, who was relatively quiet in the two games against the Grizzlies this weekend, he scored 18:50 into the first. Kansas City has outshot Allen 11-4. Jack LaFontaine is in net for the Mavericks. He had a rare off night against the Grizzlies on Friday. Normally a good goaltender, but he saved just 23 of 29 in Friday night's Utah 7-4 victory over Kansas City. So the Mavericks are taking on the Allen Americans, and after one period, Kansas City leads 1-0. Let's go over action in the National Hockey League. Handful of games going on today. I think there are 6 games in the National Hockey League. Later on tonight at 4 o'clock, so getting underway in about a half hour from now, the Avalanche take on the Wild. Both teams have had outstanding years. Avalanche are 25-2-7, and the Minnesota Wild come in with a record of 22-9-5. At 5 o'clock, the 17-17-3 Utah Mammoth hosts the Winnipeg Jets, who come into play with a record of 15-17-2. Also at 5 o'clock, Senators are at the Bruins. Sabres are at the Devils, and the Canadiens are at the Pittsburgh Penguins. Also at 5 o'clock, Rangers are at the Predators, and the Maple Leafs are at the Stars. And at 6 o'clock, the Golden Knights will take on the Oilers. One final in the National Hockey League. Red Wings defeat the Capitals 3-2. Morris Sider with the overtime game winner, 4:36 in. We'll come back and go over Week 16 National Football League scores, as after 2 periods over at BOK Center, Tulsa leads 3-1. I'm Tyson Whiting, hanging out in the Professional Green Studios just outside the Grizzlies team store at Maverick Center, and we're having a good time, although we'd probably love for the score to be reversed. Tulsa 3 unanswered in the second period, and they're up by 2 heading into the third frame. We'll come back and go over some NFL scores as second intermission coverage rolls on here on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to AmericaFirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
After 2 periods, Tulsa leads Utah 3-1. Action in the National Football League. Quite a few games have gone final. Earlier today, the Panthers defeat the Buccaneers 23-20. Panthers are 8-7 on the year. Tampa is 7-8. That was a big game in the NFC South race. Buffalo defeats Cleveland 23-20. Bills are now 11-4. Browns are 3-12. Chargers get a 34-17 victory over the Cowboys. Chargers are now 11-4 on the season. Saints defeat the Jets 29-6. Vikings defeat the Giants 16-13. Titans in a bit of an upset. They defeat the Chiefs 26-9. Gardner Minshew, the Chiefs' backup quarterback, suffered a knee injury that knocked him out of the game and may be out for the rest of the season. He was replacing Patrick Mahomes, who tore his ACL last Sunday. Bengals get 4 touchdown passes from Joe Burrow. They defeat the Dolphins 45-21. Action going on right now. 4 games in the NFL. Falcons and Cardinals are tied at 16 at the half. Also at halftime, Jaguars lead the Broncos 17-10. Late second quarter, Lions lead the Steelers 10-3. And also late in the second quarter, Texans lead the Raiders 13-7. Sunday Night Football has the New England Patriots taking on the Baltimore Ravens. That's an interesting matchup. Patriots are 11-3, and the Ravens are 7-7. But with the nature of the AFC North, the Ravens still have a chance at winning the division. As Pittsburgh leads the North Division with an 8-6 record, Ravens are just one game back at 7-7. So interesting action across the world of sports. When we come back, we will have third period action over at BOK Center as the Grizzlies will be looking for a comeback. As Tulsa leads 3-1, we'll skate 5-on-5 to start the third period. You've been tuned into the second intermission report on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck.
Grisby commutes to work by riding UTA. It gives him time to make friends and relax before arriving to the Maverick Center. But how can Grisby keep enjoying that feeling throughout the entire day? An idea! Utah Transit Authority, proud sponsors of the Utah Grizzlies.
We're waiting on third period action over at BOK Center. Final game before the Christmas break for both the Grizzlies and Oilers and everybody else in the league. And the Grizzlies will be at home this weekend taking on the Idaho Steelheads. As we're waiting for third period action, we're continually seeing a graphic that says Merry Christmas from the Oilers. And we certainly want to wish our best wishes for a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays and a Happy New Year. The Grizzlies still have 3 games left in the 2025 calendar year, and we're not naive enough to say that we haven't been reading some of the reports that have been going on, mostly in Toledo and Fort Wayne. It's kind of funny and sad at the same time that it seems like Toledo and Fort Wayne media are the only ones that seem to cover this league on a regular basis, but there have been talks, obviously, if you've known the PHPA and in the league have been working without an agreement all year. And there are kind of rumors about whether there's going to be a player strike after the Christmas break. But nevertheless, we really don't know. And obviously, everybody's got their opinions at it. I was at a bagel shop this morning, and I paid for the bagel, and he said, "Sorry, we're short pennies, so you're 2 cents short." So I don't have my 2 cents of putting it on this situation because the guy at the bagel shop didn't. He left me 2 cents short, so I don't have 2 cents on this particular issue, but nevertheless, it's just one of those things. Hopefully, we'll have some hockey this weekend, and hopefully everything gets resolved. And we're just kind of throwing it out there because we're not naive enough to pretend that these stories aren't out there from the league. But nevertheless, we're certainly looking forward to this weekend as Grizzlies will take on the Idaho Steelheads. And it's very odd and interesting that the Grizzlies and Steelheads won't meet after this upcoming weekend, December 26th and 27th. If you still got some Christmas shopping to do, make sure to get your tickets for this upcoming weekend as Grizzlies have a 2-game set against the Idaho Steelheads. Well, Utah will skate from left to right. As we try to see the game on Flow Sports, we do ask for a little bit of patience, unfortunately, as this video feed is pretty wonky from time to time. As Grizzlies will start out the third period with the forward line of Shea, Barbashev, and I think Riley Connors. Yes, Connors will take the draw for the Grizzlies. Felton and Weinstein are the defensive pairing. Noah Gansky did dress today, although I'm not sure we saw many, if any, shifts for Gansky in the second period, as he was doubtful coming into play, but he was able to at least give it a go. Tulsa wins the draw. Connor Smith dumps it in. Smith has one of the 3 second-period goals for Tulsa. Action in the Grizzlies zone. Tulsa gets up top. Connor Smith, his lefty shot's blocked. As Barbashev, a race over the offense line. Barbashev might be Utah's best player today. Gets around Smith, and that might be a penalty. No, arm was not raised. Barbashev felt like he got hooked from behind. Felton over to the right side. Shea in the offensive zone. Take a lefty shot, and that's blocked by Butjetz. Puck towards the left corner as Felton feeds it up top. Weinstein fires towards the net, and that one's blocked with a ton of traffic. Might have gotten all the way towards Butjetz. Puck slides towards the Utah line. Felton gets it, and he'll slice it towards his right. Rink-wide feed-off. Grizzly got bounced towards the boards. Now Tulsa comes the other way. As the Oilers feed it back towards Polson, and either the Oilers are offside, or I got to imagine, Grizzly got hit pretty hard along the near wing boards. I wonder if there's a penalty called on that. So 50 seconds into the third period, it's 3-1 Tulsa. And hopefully off the screen, there's not an injured Grizzly, as, Utah got bounced pretty good towards the boards. So puck's at center ice, as Lebster will skate towards the bench. Faceoff's going to be in the Oilers zone, and it is a 2-minute power play for the Grizzlies. So we'll see if Utah's their 5th power play opportunity of the night. Timofeyev fires towards the net, saved by Butjetz. Puck goes towards Felton. They'll slide it towards the left corner as Felton gets the puck. As he surveys, he's got a point in 4 of his last 7 games. He fires towards the net, and that misses wide as Butjetz slid towards his right after it. Danny Genev, the first-year pro out of Penn State. And so back it up. Now Timofeyev, he's in the high slot. He'll guide one towards the left point as Felton will skate towards where Timofeyev vacated. Back to Genev in the right wing. Over to Felton, over to Timofeyev. Off the boards, left wing. Grizzlies skate from left to right here in the period. Timofeyev and Felton switch places. Timo fires towards the net and couldn't tell where that shot ended up. It might have gotten all the way towards Butjetz. Nevertheless, the Oilers will shovel it back to center ice where it's gloved and dropped by Stepan Timofeyev, who 8 days ago had a gender reveal with his better half after the Grizzlies teddy bear toss game against Atlanta. Utah won 4-0 that night. Felton fired one towards the net, and that's blocked away. Now Genev gets it in the right wing as Danny Genev stops before getting to the corner, gets up top. Felton righty shot misses. Puck towards the left wing. 50 seconds left in the power play. Across to Genev, one-timer, and a score! Grizzlies get on the board as Danny Genev gets his 7th of the year, and the Grizzlies cut into the lead. It's now a 3-2 game. Timofeyev saucered one towards Genev, and the one-timer went right over the left shoulder of Vyacheslav Butjetz. So Danny Genev now has a goal, and he now has 7 goals this season. It's his 2nd goal in the month of December, 2nd goal of this road trip. As Danny Genev, on a great saucering pass from Stepan Timofeyev, gets Utah back on the board. Timofeyev's going to get his 7th assist of the year, and Danny Genev gets his 7th goal. Genev, just about all year, has been among league leaders in goals and points among rookies. As out towards Lebster, races towards the right wing. 30 seconds left. Well, I think we're skating 5-on-5 now. They still have some time on the score bug in Tulsa, but I do believe we're skating 5-on-5. Oilers ice the puck as there's 17:35 left in the third period. As Danny Genev gets a power play goal, Utah now has a power play goal in 16 of their last 21 games. And Utah is now a top 10 power play unit in the league as they came into play 20 for 101, which ranked 9th best in the league at 19.8%. So we're skating 5-on-5. John Gillette will take the drives out there with Gratton. They know what Danny Genev, he's an outstanding playmaker, and it was impressive. The shot, though, on that power play, as they showed the replay, right over Butjetz's left shoulder, and he just had to thread the needle. Butjetz didn't give him all that much space. Butjetz is a big goaltender, and Genev just put it at the perfect spot. Somebody would probably say it's right where Mama keeps a cookie jar. I don't know why Mama would keep the cookie jar that high, but that's where Genev fired the puck. As John Gillette out towards center ice, he gets a basketball screen from Gratton. As Gillette gets to the ends, back to Lebster, left wing. He'll take a shot. He scores! Reed Lebster gets his 14th of the year, and we're tied at 3. Oh, put that baby on the scoreboard. Ends was down the middle of the ice. Backhand dish to Lebster, and Lebster roofed it right over Butyetz's right shoulder. And so Reed Lebster, he continues to get the job done time and time again. So Genev with a power play goal. And that was 2:01 into the third period. And 2:58 into the third. So 57 seconds apart. Grizzlies turn a 3-1 deficit into a 3-3 tie. Grizzlies over the offensive zone. As Stucker fires a low liner that's sticked away by Butjetz. So Utah's got all sorts of momentum. They'll try to keep it going. As puck back towards center ice. Stucker gets it ahead as it bounces off of Butjetz. Grizzlies look like they've got an extra bounce to their step here early in the third period. As Tulsa tattoos on off the far boards. Grizzlies drive it back in. As Tulsa hustling after a loose puck, getting its J.C. Brassard, who's been in this league for about 6 or 7 years. Brassard wearing number 43. I think if I remember right, he wore number 14 for the Grizzlies a bunch of years ago. Pass ahead. It's picked off by Robbie Stucker. He'll get it towards Felton. Felton dangling back and forth across the center ice, accelerates around one Oiler, steps over the Tulsa line. He gets belted as he was able to get it in deep. Puck towards the right wing. Danny Genev fires towards the net, and that gets sticked away. As behind the net, Petrie battles with Felton now back towards Genev. Shot and a score! Danny Genev gives the Grizzlies a 4-3 lead. Boy, what a third period for the Grizzlies. As Friesen just fed it out in front, and Danny Genev with a backhand feed as the Grizzlies are on fire here to start the third. 2 third-period goals for Danny Genev, and what an onslaught. Genev scored 2:01 in. Lebster, 2:57 in. Genev once again, 3:58 into the third period. 2 goals in the span of a minute and 57 seconds. As Utah turns a 3-1 deficit into a 4-3 lead. As the puck is dumped deep behind Wells' net. As whatever was said in the second intermission locker room, John Mechanic and Ryan Anderson are going to try to bottle that up and use it the rest of the season. As the Grizzlies, they put together a great onslaught late in the third period last night, and they're scoring in bunches. Utah's been an outstanding third period club. They now have a third period goal in 10 straight games. And they've already got 3 in the first 4.5 minutes of the third period. As Genev with 2 goals, he's now on hat trick watch. Remember, Genev had a hat trick on October 30th against Jacksonville. As puck ended up in the Tulsa zone, whistle blows with 15:22 left in the third. Drawn's going to be at neutral ice, and that crowd over at BOK Center is stunned. As the Grizzlies have just been unbelievable offensively. Just about every scoring chance is going in here in the third. So draws at neutral ice. Face-off won by the Oilers. As Tulsa gets the neutral ice, they'll pitch it ahead. Barbashev gets a stick in the way. He had 6 shots in the first 2 periods to Barbashev. As Connors dumps it in, he accelerates into the Tulsa zone with speed, but icing is on the Grizzlies with 15:10 left in the third. But if you ever wanted to wonder about the speed of Riley Connors, third game in 3 days, third period, gets to center ice or gets near center ice, dumps it in, and accelerated after a puck. He displayed outstanding speed. 3 goals in a minute and 57 seconds. Genev 2:01 in with Timofeyev and Connors gained the assists. Lebster 2:58 in, ends and Gillette with the assists. Genev again, his second of the game and 8th of the year, 3:58 in. Timofeyev and Friesen with the assists. And with that, Friesen now extends his point scoring streak to 6. As the Oilers, they're stunned. It's 4-3 Grizzlies looking to keep the momentum. Tulsa slings the puck along the boards. And icing is going to be called on Tulsa with 14:57 left in the third. So Timofeyev with 2 third-period assists. He assisted in both of Genev's goals. And that forward line of Genev, Friesen, and Timofeyev once again gets the job done for Utah. Faceoff's going to be in the right circle. Riley Connors will take it. The Yale and St. Lawrence product. Tulsa will toss it in play as it flies all the way deep in the Grizzly zone. Wells rolls it around the right wing boards. 5 minutes into the third as Barbashev nudges it ahead. Actually, Barbashev chases after as Connors nudge it ahead. Boy, Barbashev plays hard. He's one of the more fun Grizzlies to watch. Out towards center ice, Jackson Weeb gets around. He gets cut off by Felton along the far wing boards of the Grizzlies zone. Utah skates from left to right here in the period. Stucker takes the puck, and he'll slice it towards the near wing. Grizzlies will sky it deep into the Oilers zone. Tulsa chases after it. I imagine off the screen, the Grizzlies look like they're going to make a line change, but they're called for icing with 14:22 left in the third. So faceoff comes back towards Dylan Wells. Wells has seen a ton of shots here this week. On Friday night, he saved 37 of 41. Last night, it was 39 of 42. And so far this evening, Wells has saved 19 of 22. Grizzlies have outshot the Oilers 9-0 so far in this third period. So Connors will take the draw. He's out there with Shea and Barbashev. Felton and Stucker, the defensive pairing. The Grizzlies flipping out of play. Is it going to be delay of game? I think it might be. As I'm not sure if it tapped off the top of the glass, and Christian Felton gave an empty seat, a souvenir from his own zone. And that's 14-17 left in the third. And Christian Felton's going to go to the box. 2 minutes for delay of game. And once again, the tradition holds true of remote broadcasts. They always show the Grizzly player in the penalty box. They never, ever show the home player sitting in the penalty box. So Christian Felton gets a swig of water. He gave an empty seat, a souvenir, a frozen vulcanized rubber disc from his own zone. He tried to tap it off the glass, but just got a little bit too much air under it. So it's going to be a power play for the Oilers. Utah leads 4-3. Tulsa is 1 for 1 on the power play so far tonight. Puck towards the right wing as an Oiler goes toppling over. As Tulsa dancing around, they get it up top. Right side, Tulsa dancing around. Brassard will slide it towards the right corner. Nobody in particular is there. As Fitz gets it back towards Armstrong. Now the Oilers get it up top towards Brassard near the blue line. He'll move it to his left. The Oilers look for a centering pass, and that's denied as Colby ends in the area. And the puck slides back towards Tulsa ice. 13:43 left in the third period. We've already seen a ton of action in the final regulation frame before the Christmas break. As Fitz drops it back. Now the Oilers get towards the left wing. As left side, lefty shot, and that one's blocked away by Wells. Actually, the shot might have gone wide. Couldn't really tell where the net was. Brassard over to the right wing. Fitz fires towards the net, saved by Wells, and it trickles in. The Oilers score. As Dylan Fitz with a fist pump. Looked like it was directed towards the Grizzlies bench. And Fitz will high-five everybody as the former Grizzly has tied it up with a power play goal. Fitz was out net front. The puck just bounced off a couple sticks and just kind of trickled 5-hole right under Dylan Wells. And Dylan Fitz is fired up. He kind of delivered a fist pump, and it was a fist pump directed. I don't think it was directed at the Tulsa bench. It looked like it was aimed a little bit angle left towards the Grizzlies bench. For Dylan Fitz, who spent 4 seasons with the Grizzlies, 3 full years, and part of the division championship club in 2021-2022. He was certainly a key piece of that division championship club. He had a strong playoff run for the Grizzlies back in 2022. So we're tied at 4. Tulsa with 2 power play goals. Grizzlies have 1 so far this afternoon. As we're skating 5-on-5, 7 minutes into the third period. Weinstein ahead towards Friesen. Genev, Timofeyev chasing after it. And Euler lost his stick, picks it back up. As you can tell, fatigue is really settling in on both sides, even though that was Michael Davies who didn't play in last night's game for the Oilers. Tulsa will hike it all the way deep in the Grizzly zone. Icing on Tulsa. 12:43 is left in the third. Goal was scored by Dylan Fitz. 6:40 in with Brody Stewart, and Colson Petrie gained the assist. So if nothing else, this has been a very entertaining game as Tulsa led 3-1 heading into the third period. Grizzlies with 3 unanswered over the span of 1 minute and 57 seconds. Tulsa responded with a power play goal, 6:40 in. It's a multiple-point game for Dylan Fitz. 1 goal and 1 assist off the draw. Grizzlies shot, and that one goes wide stick side on Butjetz. As an Oiler player loses a stick, Grizzlies race in as they try to get to Connors. Now it's dropped for Shea. Shea right wing lefty shot, saved by Butjetz, and he holds on. 12:29 left in the third. We saw a ton of crazy action in the first segment of play. Grizzlies scored 3 times. Dylan Fitz tied it up as it's a 4-4 game early in the third period. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to americafirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
So we're tied at 4 in what's turned out to be a very crazy hockey game. Utah's outshot Tulsa 10-1 in the third period. Unfortunately, from the Grizzlies' perspective, that one tied it up 6:40 into the third on a power play. Grizzlies up to 39 shots. Danny Genev leads Utah with 7 shots. He's got 2 goals. Maxime Barbashev and Riley Connors each with 6 shots. Connors 1 goal and 1 assist. As Grizzlies win the offensive zone draw. As Barbashev gets pushed in the back, he battles along with a couple Oilers. Shea, who's averaging about 5 shots per game. He's got 3 so far. Puck slides back into the Grizzlies zone. Utah skates from left to right as we see it. As Luke Salem tried to move it ahead as he just shoveled it towards the left corner. As Riley Connors gets the puck, he'll feed it to the middle of the ice for Shea. Shea crosses center, trying to get back to the right wing for Connors. Tapped away by Tulsa. Now off the screen. Somebody's got the puck. The camera has absolutely no clue where it is. It's deep in the Grizzlies zone. Colby Ends, we apologize if you're just tuned in on an audio broadcast, as we're just trying to paint the picture, but unfortunately, the picture is pretty difficult with this Tulsa camera. Shea over the offense line. He'll bounce one towards the right corner. As Gillette gets the puck, he's surrounded by a couple Oilers. Gillette goes down as Tulsa will slide it ahead. As Dylan Fitz will tap it off the boards. Puck flips into the air to center ice. As Colby Ends is around there with Keegan Iverson. Iverson wearing number 6. Ends gets hit in the back as left wing shots taken by Zachary Brooks and misses wide. Puck back towards the right wing. Oilers get to the circles. Iverson will tap it off his stick. The Oilers skate back towards the right point. Now Tulsa moves it across. Connor Smith off the left corner boards. He collides with Stucker. Stucker takes the puck and he'll skate towards the right corner deep in the Grizzlies zone. He gets pushed in the boards. Now Iverson delivers a shove on Gillette as Ends tries to break free of the puck. Now Stucker gets it. He'll skate down the middle of the ice. Stucker dangling back and forth. He'll guide it towards his right. Upster over the offense line, gets around Tulsa. I tried to slither one out in front, but nobody was home in front of the Tulsa net. As the puck's bounced out to center ice, hits off of Friesen's shoulder. He'll drop it for Felton in the right wing. Felton looking for a centering pass, but it glanced off a Barbashev's stick. Now Friesen gets it back. He gets back checked. He tried to get towards Gratton, but just too many Oilers in the way between Friesen and Gratton. Tulsa races out towards center ice. Skating over the offense line, Easton Armstrong with a shot that's blocked by Felton. As the Oilers back towards the left wing, they're in the offensive zone. Bouncing puck. Tulsa gets it out in front. Armstrong, righty shot, and that one misses. Wells might have gotten a piece of it. We're about halfway through the third period. We're tied at 4. It's a very entertaining game before the Christmas break. Oilers back around the wall. Weinstein slides it towards the near side. Lebster forced it up and not out, though, as Tulsa's able to keep it in miraculously. Right side lefty shot, and that's blocked. Now it goes back towards the high slot. Lefty shot's blocked by Felton, as Christian Felton will race out to center ice. Felton crosses center ice. Veers to his left. Now Genev left side. He'll take a shot, and it's kicked away by Butjetz. Genev on hat trick watch. He's got 2 tonight and 8 on the season. It looks like a lot of equipment is laying in the Tulsa zone. A couple pieces of sticks. As Timofeyev will guide it out towards Genev. Now Genev will slide it to the middle of the ice and neutralize. Salem backhands it ahead. Now rink-wide feed off the boards. Timofeyev gets in the right wing. He fired towards the net. Hits the crossbar. Grizzlies score, I believe. It looked like the signal was for a goal, and Utah takes a 5-4 lead. I think Stepan Timofeyev just roofed it right over Butjetz, and he went bar down to give Utah a 5-4 lead. Looked like the referee might take an extra look at it, as it kind of came off pretty quickly, and it does look like we might go to video replay, but nevertheless, Utah's up 5-4 as they've now scored 4 goals in this third period. kind of a crazy hop as Timofeyev just kind of hit the part right below the bar and right over Butyets's right shoulder. They don't show the replay, but it's now 5-4 Utah. So the Oilers will bounce it out to center ice. Grizzlies try to one-handed ahead as ends out there with Salem. As a stick gets breaking, I think Tulsa, I'm not sure whose stick that is. As Neil Shea delivers a push on an Oiler. Puck goes up top right point. Now across. Oilers will take a lefty shot, and that's blocked away with Barbashev in the area as Michael Davies fired towards the net. Now Davies gets the puck back. He's in the left wing. 8:45 on a moving clock, third period. Oilers will bounce it behind Wells' net as Connors battles along with ends and a couple Oilers. Now turnover as Wells' net gets kicked open. And Tulsa trying to fire away. And the net gets blown off its moorings. Utah leads 5-4 as there's 8:35 left in the third. So put the net back in place. Stepan Timofeyev gives Utah a 5-4 lead. Actually, they say the goal was scored by Friesen, which would be it definitely looked like Timofeyev that fired towards the net. Looks like right now they've got it as Evan Friesen, but nevertheless, Utah leads 5-4 as there's 8:35 left in the third period. So what a crazy third frame we've had. Well, according to the box score, they've got Friesen with the goal, even though it definitely looked like it was Timofeyev from the right wing. They never did show a replay of Utah's goal. Connors and Salem right now have the assists. And, Connors isn't usually out there with Friesen, so I'm not entirely sure about whether they've got the goal correct on the box score. But nevertheless, Utah leads 5-4. Grizzlies have a 3-on-2. They cross center ice. As Barbashev over there along with Enns. Looked like Enns got there before the puck, but no offside. 8:20 on a moving clock, third period. Grizzlies have a 5-4 lead to protect as they've scored 4 third-period goals. Oilers get it back towards the right wing. Dangling back and forth. Tyler Polson down the middle. He takes a shot. It's blocked by Stucker. Now the Oilers spin the puck back around towards the left wing as Connor Smith fires towards the net. And Wells makes a save. 8:02 is left in the third period. There's a timeout on the ice. So the Grizzlies are up by a goal. 5-4 is the score. Crazy one over at BOK Center. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Grisby commutes to work by riding UTA. It gives him time to make friends and relax before arriving to the Maverick Center. But how can Grisby keep enjoying that feeling throughout the entire day? An idea! Utah Transit Authority, proud sponsors of the Utah Grizzlies.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, and partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
So it's the Grizzlies 5 and the Oilers 4. Unfortunately, the camera did not do a pretty good job following the puck near where the Grizzlies scored 10:41 in. Right now, they've got Evan Friesen with the goal, even though it clearly looked like it was Timofeyev that fired Bard down. But nevertheless, Grizzlies are up by 1. And what a crazy sequence here in the third period. Tulsa led 3-1 after 2 periods. Grizzlies have 4 third-period goals. They scored 3 goals in a minute 57. Geneva with 2 goals, sandwiched in by a Reed Webster goal. And then right now they've got Evan Friesen listed with his 2nd of the game and 7th of the year. Actually, a 7th of the year, first goal of the game. He's already got 1 assist. So 2 points for Friesen as it stands right now. But I thought it was a step on Timofeyev that went Bard down. As Tulsa skates around the entire Grizzlies organization between them, they skate towards the right corner. Now back up top, Iverson. Shot that might have been taken by Smith. We didn't get a good look at the shooter. Tulsa right wing shot. That one's blocked away, and Weinstein will ice it as Tulsa chases after the puck. And the arms are raised by the linesman with 7:24 left in the third as Utah's up 5-4. Riley Connors, 1 goal and 2 assists. Danny Geneva has 2 goals. And the Grizzlies here so far in the third period have outshot the Oilers 13-3. really what's kept Tulsa in the game is they're 2 for 2 on the power play. So Draw's going to be over in the right circle. And face-off won by Utah. Now Tulsa takes it away. Puck goes to neutral ice. As the Oilers spin it across. Now they dump it into the left corner. Grizzlies lofted out towards center ice. Bounced around Genev. Genev couldn't get a stick in the way. The Oilers slide it back towards the left corner. Hustling after, it's Robbie Stucker. He avoids a check, and the second Oiler gets him. Now left wing, righty shot saved by Wells. Now centering pass, bounced off a stick. As you can tell, the fatigue is settling in. Both teams are giving what they can, but they don't have a whole lot to give right now. Third game in less than 48 hours. Genev will backhand it in deep. As Cade McNally battles with Friesen along the far wing boards. Grizzlies skate from left to right. Tulsa races out across center ice. Oilers get over the offensive line. Getting pushed towards the boards is number 25, Colton Petrie. Petrie's got 1 goal tonight. The puck goes back towards neutral ice. Tulsa will fire it back in. Oilers towards the right corner. They skate around Wells' net to the near side. Tulsa gets it up top. Davies with a shot that's blocked by Timofeyev's stick. As the puck near the Grizzlies bench. Felton backhands it ahead towards Timofeyev, who gets in. Grizzlies complete a full line change. About 6 minutes left in regulation. Utah leads 5-4. Tulsa out to center ice. As Barbashev takes it away. Barbashev dangles back and forth. Gets around J.C. Brassard. As Barbashev gets towards Shea. And the Grizzlies looking for some insurance here in the third period. As Barbashev battles with Brassard. Connors gets taken away by Tyler Polson, who's sporting a beard. Polson now collides over, skates the puck. And the Oilers feed it back towards the near side. Grizzlies doing a great job challenging Tulsa and really making them work to even get the puck out to neutral ice. The Grizzlies have done that on a few occasions this weekend. Stucker gains center ice. Nil zipping around the boards. As the Oilers back behind their own net. Brassard gets to the far side. Oilers get it back towards Brassard. JC, which stands for John Claude. Sounds like a movie star, John Claude Brassard. Out to center ice. Weeb tries to get around Felton. Grizzlies sky it under the video board at center ice. Webster drops it for Gillette. He'll take a lefty shot, and that one misses. As Gillette skates towards the left corner. Grattan in the area as well. As loose puck behind Tulsa's net. Oilers' Michael Davies dances around. Oilers in their white pinstripe jerseys with blue numbers and orange trim. Grizzlies in the middle of a line change. Tulsa comes out of the offensive zone as they skate deep behind Wells' net. Puck slides towards the left wing, but it's the Grizzlies that come up with it. As Lepster dumps it in, he did so from Grizzlies territory. But no icing is on the plays. We play on with 4.5 minutes left in the third. Time can't run out quick enough for the Grizzlies, who are looking forward to the Christmas break. Oilers they're looking forward to the break as well. As Tulsa skates around one Grizzly, skates towards the right side, fires towards the net, saved by Wells. Now behind Wells' net, Friesen gets the puck. He gets pushed by Nelson. Ends in the area along with Salem. Genev looking nearby. And Genev comes out of the pile with the puck. He'll bounce one to Timofeyev, a race out to center ice. Timo slides it in. Genev gets around one Oiler. Now he gets around a second Oiler. Genev gets towards the left wing. Lefty shot and a score! And the Grizzlies get some insurance as it's now a 6-4 game. Boy, great job by Genev. Laid it past Timofeyev, and I think it might have been Friesen. It looks like it's Evan Friesen getting the goal as he fired it past the goal line to give some insurance to Utah with 3:51 left in the third. And it looks like referee, it looked like maybe they were thinking about replaying, but now instead they get some accessories from the penalty box. So how about that? So the Grizzlies get on the board with 3:51, and unfortunately we didn't get much of an angle as to the shooter. We believe it might have been Evan Friesen. But we could be wrong. Unfortunately, for the second straight goal, we didn't get a replay on it either. As Grizzlies out towards center ice, it's now a 6-4 game. Grizzlies have scored 5 goals in the third period. Boy, Grizzlies have scored in bunches here this weekend. Grizzlies had a 4-goal first period to start the road trip against Kansas City. As Robbie Stucker going after a loose puck in the far corner of the Grizzlies zone. As Utah will wing it around the wall. As Tulsa back towards the right side. Lefty shot, and that one's blocked away. Not sure if it got to Wells or not. As puck towards the near side, Felton holds up McGalian. Connors joins the play as Connors continues his battle. Tulsa aggressive on the back check. Now left wing. Righty shot saved by Wells. Rebound towards the right wing as Tulsa will slide it back from one corner to the other. Less than 3 minutes left in the third period. And whatever was said in the second intermission locker room, Grizzlies will probably be looking to bottle it up. As 5 goals here in the third, Mechanic and Ryan Anderson, the Grizzlies' brain trust, have to be excited. Puck back to neutral ice. Neil Shea will move it towards the Grizzlies bench as Utah tried to nudge it ahead. It's taken away by Tulsa as they get it in from neutral ice. Left wing now the Grizzlies will skate back towards center ice. Neil Shea after a loose puck skates off the screen. Now Shea feeds one towards his right. It was overled for Tyler Gratton. Friesen scored the goal to make it 6-4. And according to this box score, which I'm taking with a grain of salt because it looked like it was Timo Feyev that took the shot. After all, it was a righty that fired away from the right wing. But they've got Friesen now listed with 2 goals. As Tyler Gratton gets the puck, skates around one Oiler. Now he stops on the left point. He fires towards the net that misses. About 2 minutes left in regulation. As John Gillette gets hit by Petrie. As the Oilers skate towards the right corner, they're still in their own zone as they pedal along the near side, try to muscle their way across the center ice. Now Tulsa gets over the offensive line, right wing. They look for a cutter out in front, and the shot was denied. Grizzlies clear it out. And Butyates is still in there in a 2-goal game. Rob Murray not all that aggressive in pulling Butyates for the extra attacker. If the Oilers get into the offensive zone, wouldn't surprise me if Butyates comes off for an extra skater. As the puck goes deep into the Grizzlies zone in the left corner. Puck is skied towards Connor Smith, who's played a good game. He backhands it across. Looks like the net's empty. Grizzlies get it towards Geneva. He fires towards the net. And he scores! Toss those hats, Grizzlies fans, as Danny Geneva gets his 3rd of the game. And the Grizzlies take a 7-4 lead. Friesen got towards Geneva at center ice. And Geneva fired it past the goal line. So 2nd hat trick for Danny Geneva as a pro. All 3 of his goals this evening have come in the 3rd period. And the Grizzlies are fired up. 6 goals here in the 3rd frame. That's by far the most the Grizzlies have had in a period this season. Previous high was a 4-goal first period. That just came 2 days ago. And for Danny Geneva, it's goals 7, 8, and 9 on the season. The first-year pro out of Penn State's been unbelievable. As he gets his 2nd hat trick of the season. It's the Grizzlies' 3rd hat trick of the year as Reed Lebster scored 3 goals on October 24th against Idaho. As it's 7-4 Utah, that was the final score on Friday night. The Grizzlies' victory over the Kansas City Mavericks. So the 7 goals tie a season high. As 58 seconds left, puck must have deflected out a player, been offside. And for Danny Geneva, what a night heading into the Christmas break. As looks like a penalty's been called, and well, like the referee gave multiple motions there. I'm not sure if the second motion was family friendly, but it looks like an Oilers getting the gate. So it looks like a Tulsa Oilers getting an early shower as they show an Oiler just walking towards the locker room. So Grizzlies get a 2-minute power play. There's 58 seconds left in the 3rd period, and even though we're not entirely sure about whether Friesen scored the goal to make it 5-4. We do know they made it 6-4, 16:09 in, and then Geneva completes the hat trick, 18:41 into the 3rd. And if you got a hat, just throw it as far as you can in celebration of Utah's 3rd hat trick of the season. We did a little bit of research after his hat trick in late October. I think it is the 60th hat trick for the Grizzlies since the beginning of the 2006-07 season. Grizzlies get it right, left side, righty shot, and that's blocked away by Butyates as Riley Connors and an Oiler exchange some words as frustration is settling in on the Tulsa side. And so for the Grizzlies, looks like they're going to head to the Christmas break on the winning note. The 3 shutouts the Grizzlies have so far this season are the most since Utah had 3 hat tricks during the division championship run, the 2021-22 season. As puck goes deep into the Grizzlies zone off the draw, 48 seconds left. In fact, Geneva becomes the first Grizzly to have 2 hat tricks in a season since a pair of Grizzlies in the 2019-2020 campaign. Josh Dickinson and Ty Lewis each had 2 hat tricks. Now Danny Genev joins that club. Genev is now the 9th different player in Grizzlies history to have 2 or more hat tricks in a season. As Neil Shea over the offense line, 20 seconds left, but the Grizzlies are offside. Grizzlies GOAT, all-time leading scorer in team history, Ryan Kanasowicz and Colin Vaught each had 3 hat tricks in a season. Kanasowicz was during the 2009-2010 campaign. Colin Vaught had 3 hat tricks during the 2012-2013 season. And Danny Genev today, with his 2nd hat trick of the year, joins the list of Barry Almeida, Josh Dickinson, Keith Johnson, Ryan Kanasowicz, Ty Lewis, and Paul McElveen, who each had 2 hat tricks in a single season. Tulsa fires onto Dylan Wells, who will get his 7th victory of the year. 10 seconds left. The Grizzlies will just stand behind their net, and a miraculous 6-goal third period turns a 3-1 deficit into a 7-4 victory. Grizzlies win! Grizzlies win! Grizzlies won 7-4, and there was no doubt about it. Danny Genev scored 3 third-period goals. Grizzlies also got an outstanding effort from Evan Friesen, who had at least 1 goal. And Reed Lebster found the back of the net for the 14th time this season. And what a performance. Utah in the third period scored 6 goals on 16 shots. And Danny Genev gets Utah's 3rd hat trick of the season. It's his 2nd hat trick of the year. And Dylan Wells hung in tough. You knew he had to be fatigued with this being his 3rd game in less than 48 hours. And he put together a good performance, stopping 28 of 36. What a game for the Grizzlies. Stepan Timofeyev had 3 assists. Riley Connors had 1 goal and 2 assists. And the Grizzlies head to the Christmas break on a winning note. And it's a winning road trip, winning 2 out of 3 games this weekend. And in both of Utah's victories this weekend, the Grizzlies scored 7 goals. The 6 goals in a single period, that's probably the most since last season in late January when the Grizzlies scored 6 goals against the Wichita Thunder. And that was a game played at BOK Center. So it's a happy locker room over at BOK Center, at least on the visiting side, as the Grizzlies come through with a 7-4 victory. With the win, the Grizzlies record goes to 12-13-2, and Tulsa falls to 9-17. Post-game show starts in 30 seconds. Once again, it's a victorious Utah Grizzlies club as they win 7-3 behind 6 third-period goals. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Grisby commutes to work by riding UTA. It gives him time to make friends and relax before arriving to the Maverick Center. But how can Grisby keep enjoying that feeling throughout the entire day? An idea! Utah Transit Authority, proud sponsors of the Utah Grizzlies.
Well, you could put this third period in the memory bank as one of the greatest periods in Utah Grizzlies history, as Utah wins 7-4 over the Tulsa Oilers. Neither team scored in the first period. Riley Connors got Utah on the board 2:34 into the second as he just skated down the middle of the ice around the entire Oilers club, and then he fired it past Butjetz. And then Tulsa scored 3 unanswered in the second period. Tyler Polson tied it up 3:11 in as Justin McAlien was behind the net, and he just fed it in front to Polson. Perfect pass, and Polson put it away for his 2nd goal of the year. And Stewart also picked up an assist. Brody Stewart got his 10th assist of the year. And then Connor Smith fired away from the left point, one that Wells would have loved to have had back. As Smith scored off of Wells' pad, 5:18 into the second. Fitz and Brooks with the assists. Colson Petrie made it a 3-1 game. He scored on a power play 16:35 in. Polson and Brassard with the assists. In the second period, the Grizzlies outshot the Oilers 16-8. However, it was the Oilers that scored 3 goals on 8 shots in the second period. And after 2 frames, Tulsa had a 3-1 lead. Grizzlies, early in the third period, scored 3 goals in the span of a minute and 57 seconds. Genev scored his first of 3 on the night. 2:01 in. Timofeyev and Connors with the assists. 2:58 in, 57 seconds after Genev scored. It was Reed Lebster tying it up as he scored from the right wing. It was his 14th goal of the year. Colby Enns and John Gillette picked up the assists. And then Genev gave Utah a 4-3 lead. He scored his 8th of the year, 3:58 in. Timofeyev and Evan Friesen with the assist, and with that, Friesen extended his point-scoring streak to 6 straight. Tulsa tied it up on a power play, 6:40 in, as puck ricocheted off a couple sticks in front of the crease, and then Dylan Fitz slid it 5-hole right under Dylan Wells. That was 6:40 in. Fitz, the former Grizzly, had to feel good about that. Right now, they've got the game-winning goal listed with Evan Friesen. That was 10:41 in. We have our doubts about that, though, as the puck was shot from the right wing. This camera feed in Tulsa is about notorious for being the absolute worst ever, and today it just didn't disappoint in that regard. It looked like Timofeyev from the right side just kind of roofed it bar down under Butyets, and that's what it looked like. We didn't get a replay. We didn't really get a good look at the shot. It definitely looked, Friesen's a lefty, and it looked like it was definitely a righty from the right wing that fired it past Butyets. But right now they've got it listed as Friesen getting his 7th of the year, and that was 10:41 in, with Connors and Salem again the assist. And Connors doesn't normally play on the same line with Friesen or Timofeyev. So I'm not entirely sure about the validity of what the box score has in terms of Utah's 5th goal. And unfortunately, we didn't get a replay to see one way or another what happened. But nevertheless, that was the game winner, 10:41 in, and Friesen with a question mark with his first of 2 in the third period, and that made it a 5-4 game. And then later in the third, just kind of a good 2-pass sequence. Genev got to Timofeyev, then a backhand feed to a cutting Friesen. We do believe that was Friesen, even though we didn't see the shooter. We didn't get a good view of the shooter or the net in that particular goal, but 16:09 in. We do definitely believe it was Evan Friesen on that regard. He picked up his 1st or 2nd of the night, and either a 7th or 8th of the year, with Genev and Timofeyev getting the assist. So really, it seems like game in and game out over the last couple of weeks. If we're talking about a forward line that gets the job done, once again, it's Genev, Friesen, and Timofeyev. That 3-man unit's been outstanding. And then Danny Genev completed the hat trick on an empty net, 18:41 in. It's his 3rd of the game. It's the 2nd hat trick of the season. Evan Friesen picked up his 2nd assist of the night. Timofeyev with 3 assists and a +3 rating. Right now, according to the box score, Friesen has 2 goals and 2 assists. He was a +5 and had 6 shots on goal. So a +5 for Friesen. From my memory, that's the best plus-minus that a Grizzlies player's had in a game this season. And how about Danny Genev? 3 goals, 1 assist. He was a +4, and he had 8 shots. Danny Genev, the first-year pro out of Penn State's been unbelievable. It's a 4-point game for Genev. He came into play tied for 4th among league rookies with 21 points. And with that, depending on what happened across the league, it's possible he now jumps to the top of the list among league rookies. And if we're talking about candidates for the League Rookie of the Year award, I know there's some outstanding first-year pros in the league, but you got to mention Danny Genev among the very best in this league. And he was just acquired for future considerations before the season, as he was with Idaho in training camp, and for some reason he became available, even though in the 2 preseason games against the Grizzlies, Genev looked like Idaho's best player. So the Grizzlies looked around when he became available and was like, okay, we'll take this guy who just dominated the preseason, and Genev has just come in and he's done some outstanding things for the Grizzlies tonight. 3 goals, 1 assist. He was a +4, had 8 shots, and he becomes the 9th Grizzly player in team history to have 2 or more hat tricks in a single season. Dylan Wells picked up the win. He saved 28 of 32. Vyacheslav Butyets for Tulsa, he stopped 38 of 44. Both teams had success on the special teams department. Grizzlies were 1 for 6 on the power play, and Tulsa was 2 for 2. Let's go over the 3 stars of the game. According to the person who picks them over in Tulsa, 3rd star goes to Dylan Fitz, a former Grizzly. He had 1 goal and 1 assist and had 3 shots. 2nd star goes to Evan Friesen, who scored either 1 or 2 goals this afternoon. We'd love to see a replay of that 5th goal. We never did get to see it because it certainly looked like a righty shot from Stepan Timofeyev from the right wing. But nevertheless, Friesen right now is listed with 2 goals and 2 assists. He's the 2nd star, and he's a first-year pro, and it's kind of fun to watch the first-year pros just continue to get better and better. Friesen has a point in 6 straight games, and whether it's 2 goals or 1 assist, whether it's a 4-point night or 3 points, right now it's listed as 2 goals and 2 assists. Evan Frieson's really picked it up, and he had an unbelievable road trip for the Grizzlies. And the number one star, you guessed it, it's Danny Genev, the first-year pro out of Penn State. He gets a hat trick, 3 goals and 1 assist. He was a +4, had 8 shots. And if you're a Grizzlies fan and if you're wearing a hat at that particular time, hopefully you tossed it as far as you could. As the Grizzlies go to the Christmas break in style, as they pick up a 7-4 victory, 6 goals in the third period. I have to think back to that second period against Wichita last year. That was the one where Nick Hayes decided to take a seat in front of me or next to me for that period. Grizzlies scored 3 goals in that frame. I'm trying to remember if they scored 6 goals or 7 goals in that second period, because I know that period broke a team record for goals in a single frame. And the Grizzlies came away with 6. So how about the 2 victories the Grizzlies had in this road trip? They won 7-4 on Friday night, led by 4 first-period goals. And tonight, how about a 6th spot in the third period to close out the Christmas break? I don't know what was said in the locker room after the second period, but whatever was said, John Buchanan, Ryan Anderson, and company, they're just going to bottle that and use it whenever the Grizzlies are in a tough spot, because the Grizzlies came out a determined team. And if you think about it, going into the Christmas break, you get down by 2 goals, you're thinking, okay, we got 1 more period to go before we get 4 days off. You know, you take your foot off the gas, or you just go full throttle. You know, all gas, no brakes. Let's put together a strong 20 minutes and try to get a victory. And the Grizzlies looked like they just came out determined in that third period. And really it started with that forward line of Genev, Timofeyev, and Friesen. Looked like they were just determined to say, we're not going to be tonight today against Tulsa. And you don't want to downgrade any team in this league or any league, but Tulsa has been struggling to win games. And so the Grizzlies look down the schedule and they say, hey, this is a team we should beat if we play well. The Grizzlies came out in the third period, and I don't know what it is about Utah scoring in bunches, but you think about last night, 2 goals in 26 seconds. Tonight, 3 goals in 1:57 early in the third period to turn a 4-1 deficit or a 3-1 deficit into a 4-3 lead. And even with Fitz scoring that power play goal 640 in, Grizzlies dominated the second half of the third period, and they just seem to want it more than the Oilers in the second half of the third period. So the Grizzlies come away with the 2 standings points. Their record goes to 12, 13, and 2 on the season. As we mentioned before, 4-day Christmas break for everybody in the league. Then the Grizzlies will take on the Idaho Steelheads, and we say that we're not naive enough to know. Obviously, we've been reading the reports, and unfortunately, I've been trying to talk with some people around the league, a few other broadcasters, and they're about as much. They're just kind of reading as everybody else. It doesn't seem like anybody really has any intel. The rumor is that the ECHL players may strike after the Christmas break, but we're really not sure. It's all kind of stories and trying to get as much information as you can. You click on one story and you don't end up reading the story because there's a paywall. It's just one of those things, and we know that obviously the PHPA, the Professional Hockey Player Association, they came out with a statement last month. So there is a little bit of uncertainty, I guess, as to what's going to happen over the next week, but we certainly are planning on playing hockey this weekend at BOK Center, a big 2-game set against the Idaho Steelheads. It's going to be on December 26th and 27th. Well, just about wrap things up here as I'm hanging out at the Professional Green Studios just outside the Grizzlies team store at BOK Center. And for the Grizzlies, an unbelievable third period. They'd scored 6 goals, including 3 by Danny Genev, and Evan Friesen picked up 3, maybe 4 points, depending on what the box score said. Certainly looked like Timofeyev, but we'd love to see a replay later on. And Dylan Wells came through in net as he got his 7th victory of the season. Next broadcast of Grizzlies hockey will be on Friday night, we believe. December 26th, the day after Christmas, the Utah Grizzlies will take on the Idaho Steelheads. Once again, in 2 hours and 22 minutes, which is pretty good for a game that had a combined 11 goals. In front of a crowd of allegedly 4,830. They must have been hanging out behind where the camera was located. The Utah Grizzlies get 6 goals in the third period, the most they've had in a game this season. They tied the season-high 7 goals, which was just set 2 days ago against Kansas City. And the Grizzlies won 2 out of 3 games on the road trip. They split a series against Kansas City, went to Tulsa, and picked up a 7-4 victory as Utah is now 3-0 against the Oilers this season. I'm Tyson Whiting, and I'm just pursuing my dream, and that's to someday get to the National Hockey League. We'll talk to you on Friday night as the Grizzlies start out a 2-game homestand with the Idaho Steelheads. You've been listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network. Good afternoon, everybody.